we are live.
Welcome
Yay.
to Season 2, Session 8 of our Sea Dogs GURPS campaign. I am Gigerman, today's
Hi,
GM.
Gigerman.
This session's audio will be made available as a podcast. See the description for details.
Podcast. What's happening?
We're doing the thing.
Who are
Nosh.
you people?
Do you have any character business for Lieutenant Rogers?
No, I do not.
Com Junkie, do you have any character business for Sir Randall?
I probably do, and probably completely forgot. So, no? Question mark?
I feel like we talked about something that you wanted to do, and I can't remember it either.
Yeah.
Ronki, do you have any character business for Captain Hayden?
Not at this point.
Rigel Kent, do you have any character business for Dr. Spencer?
I'm spending everybody's points to pick up Unkillable 3. Okay, I'm really not, so no.
Did you make any changes to the
Nope.
those things? Okay.
Nope. I got some points, and I could have, but I have held off on changing those for the time being because I was digging into some other stuff, trying to figure something out.
Andricus, do you have any character business for Divino?
Who's Andricus?
I would like to up freight handling, please, if I may. Just taking it 11 and 12.
Yeah, you need a higher freight handling. Keep forgetting that Rogers has better freight handling than you. But then again, you're just kind of voted in.
It has been upgraded.
All right, GM business. Don't have a whole lot actually, but so last week, toward the end, Spencer had an encounter with Madame Cassandra, and there were some questions, I believe, that the player wanted to ask and didn't get the opportunity or forgot at the time.
And has since forgotten what he wanted to ask.
And has quite possibly forgotten what he wanted to ask since then. So, do you need a second?
No, I will cheat and say, "Hey, Jim, what is it that I should have asked?" And or that my character would have wanted to ask, but the player's an idiot.
GM didn't think of anything because you pretty much covered everything the GM had in mind. I don't remember what you said you wanted to ask.
Neither do I.
Well,
Check to see if I wrote anything down, because I do sometimes keep notes.
Ponder that while I move on.
Nope, doesn't look that way. Wait. Yeah, I think I was going to have had him reference the thing that what's his name? Damien something or other Rush had pointed toward at Portobello to see if she recognized it and determined, or if it was like, no, why would you do that? That's a terrible idea. Don't go there.
Rephrase.
Rush told me to go to Portobello and talk to a dude named Erasmus Wolf and get a book called Nine Gates of the Kingdom of Shadows. And I was going to have mentioned that.
Right. Okay. So I think she will have come across and said that. Let me start over. I think she will have revealed that Erasmus Wolf is one of theirs.
Right. That's the good guys, ostensibly. The
Good,
reason.
bad.
That's order of reason, guys.
Yeah.
And she did not tell me who Rush was, I seem to recall.
I don't believe she expounded upon that.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
She did at least say he wasn't to be trusted. Well, I guess whether or not she said it, it was pretty obvious by her reactions.
I don't trust him. He plays Brainiac.
That's just your meta bias. Next bit. Sir Randall, when he talked to Imran Federon about the Skavana and all the immortal stuff, you did tell him that. Actually, I believe you told him that you would be okay with him making a copy of the ship's logs, relevant ship's logs. Is that correct?
I
Maybe
seem to remember that too.
if that's the case, then I probably said it.
Then the question would be when/how. I don't think we actually discussed arrangements to handle
Probably
that.
better that he come to the ship and do it, because I don't know that I want to take the logs off the ship.
Well, as long as you made an arrangement for at some time meeting to take care of that, that is probably fine. Do you have a preference on when that would occur? Like, the next day or something? Seeing you're about to go into the next day.
I don't know. My guess would probably be to have let him.
Oh, it's the worst one.
I don't know. The problem being is,
Yeehaw, time to got this thing down.
Payne like there's a whole lot going on, and he
Well,
doesn't
you can
know
put it
his
off longer.
schedule. You can just say, I don't know how that would work. It's not like
You
I
could
can
say,
just
"I can get
text
back
him and
to you."
say, and that's probably what happens.
Okay.
Yes, I would like, that is a fine, a good idea, but right now he has no fixed schedule to pencil him anywhere.
Okay.
And
So you then told him before you left that at some point you will return and allow him to make the copies.
yes,
However you handle the arrangements. Okay, but you haven't done that yet. Got it. Next bit. Last week we discussed, well, not last week, 2 weeks ago, we discussed that everybody, excepting, if I am correct, Sir Randall and Mr. Spencer, were going to be taking guard shifts on the ship. Does anyone think that is not correct? Anyone at all?
Clearly not.
I will take the silence as a no, and not a confused, I'm not sure.
I think we're
Yeah.
generally happy with it.
Okay, well, because, the evening is coming up and you guys are at a thing. You may have to leave to go take care of that. Let me see here. I want to pop that up and that up. Yeah. I'm going to be chasing my tail on this one. All right. Then, Harbor Log, Sunday evening, February 25th, 1725. Campeche, Yucatan. It is cool and clear with a northwest breeze. Having kicked off the search for the treasury and encountered some scary people on the beach, the expedition has accepted the invitation to dine at the hacienda of Gordon Reed and have found Maurice Boissenard there waiting for them.
He would be honored if you would join him.
They may be honored if you join them. Image, more images, more images.
Oh, right. Yeah, we can't trust him. Something vexes him. Can't trust him at all. Frickin' Frenchman.
All right. So, a little bit of in-game business. For Davino, what did he do with Boom while he's going to this dinner?
Let's see. It's a somewhat of a posh dinner, yes.
That is the impression that you were getting. Yes.
Okay, excellent. He does not
Yeah,
have
that's
any
who-
sort of savoir-faire high society, so he's going to bring Boom unless told otherwise.
You can tell him otherwise.
Crickets.
Hold on. Yes, Spencer will probably at least mention it. I'm not quite sure if the monkey is appropriate.
Oh, do these people not appreciate the finer points of monkeyness?
That's exactly it. They're deathly allergic to monkeys.
Oh, well, that's rather unfortunate. And he'll apologetically sign to Boom that Boom should stay.
There's a big tree. Boom can hang out in the tree while we go inside.
Yes. Stay where?
with Claude. Blah,
Except nobody could find Claude.
That's
Boom.
it. That's what he can sign to
Boom,
him
go
and
find
say, yeah, boom, go find Claude.
And then next thing we know, we have Claude in a barrel with Boom, wondering
Why
Yeah.
am I in this barrel?
with the monkey.
Fair enough. That'll be an adventure in itself.
You have to run that next week. That has to be the beginning of next week.
Well,
We'll
yeah,
play all the
Claude,
NPCs.
you're in
do some catch
Yeah,
up.
it's like you can start with Claude. You're in a barrel and a monkey's chasing you.
All right. The other part is there was a little bit of confusion last week about whether or not Spencer was actually going to this thing, and it has been decided, therefore, that he is, and that Dora shall attend with him unless he says otherwise.
No, that's fine.
Then, the current roster of PCs, etc., that are along are are Rogers, Payne, Hayden, Spencer, Plange, and Dora. Not necessarily in that order. Okay, so some setup. This hacienda is most definitely a status 2 environment. Another
Right.
point.
So I feel really out of place. Actually, I might not feel out of place. Right now I feel out of place.
Well,
Davino
you guys
always looks out of place.
You guys have been hanging around Payne long enough by this point that you're kind of got the idea of how those people behave.
Does
What do you mean, those
savoir-faire default to other savoir-faires?
I don't recall if it does.
I think some of them can.
Like servant, I think can go to noble, and military can.
Press A,
I-
click on video,
Yeah, there are
send,
some.
click
There has to be a
A,
logical reason.
press
I think.
Yes,
Like criminal can't work.
savoir-faire. Let's see, savoir-faire, high society, and servant default to one another at -2. There are no defaults between other types of savoir-faire. Wow, okay, that answers that. So you've got military, don't you, Brian?
Yes.
Right. Well, at least in your case, I believe you are going to end up being treated as status 2 because of your courtesy rank. So you at least have that going for you. Did Rogers have courtesy rank? Yes, he did.
Let's see. Rogers, yes. I believe so.
I think he's going to end up being treated as status 1 because of that. I wonder if that's even on
Yeah.
his list.
I've got courtesy rank, retired English lieutenant. 3 points in it.
Yeah. Okay. Carry on. Let's see. Right. So, also present are Remy Leblanc and Ulysse Delacroix, who are the purser and master of La Dame Blanche, respectively.
Right. Think do I know I don't think I've met him, but I have met Remy.
I would say that you
Think.
guys are at least familiar with all the named characters on that crew, having interacted with them to some degree or another in Kingston. But I don't know that all of them have actually been introduced in game. I believe Bernard was there in Kingston when you guys were diving. And I know that Sir Randall encountered Remy when they were going to talk to the Morgan expert in Nassau. Next point. As you guys are progressing through the house to be introduced, specifically Sir Randall will notice that there are a lot of little Mayan artifacts decorating the house. Small bits of jade, obsidian, that opal, that sort of thing. A mask
Man.
here and there.
I'm totally thinking if they're small, it's probably a good thing we didn't bring Claude.
Right? Yoink! Would definitely be some rolls.
And since the monkey was not included, I don't have to deal with that. Okay, some basic knowns and unknowns for your remembrance. You guys have no idea who Gordon Reed is yet, with one exception that by the time you guys are arriving here, Buck Rogers is starting to remember that name, that he has seen it on a list of code names as possible contacts in the region. Pretty
Interesting.
far down the list, in the low tier, not sure what their status is area of the list.
This is Remy LeBlanc.
No, this is Gordon Reed, the host. Let's see.
Okay.
You guys also do not know at this point why Maurice is here with Gordon Reed, although I'm sure
It's
you
not
guys have
true.
some ideas.
He's here to make Randall's life difficult.
Well, aside from that, you
His
guys
sole reason for existing.
do know that Maurice is after the same treasury that you are, but you do not know what his current progress is. And you also do not know why you were invited here. Although, again, you probably got some good guesses. And with that, we would be honored if you would join us.
They arrived right before you did. I had no choice.
3,800.
Oh dear, that looks like a combat map.
No, it isn't.
It's a combat map. We're doomed.
Mr. Reed says, please sit. Make yourselves at home.
It can't be a combat map. There's no hexes.
Different kind of combat map.
Seat yourselves appropriately. Sans Funky.
Says monkey.
Uh-oh. We're missing a chair. We're missing a seat.
Just pretend there are enough chairs there. There may have been a miscount there.
Nope. We have to have Davino stand the entire time.
Just he walks up and he just drags a chair over. Kicks Maurice out of his chair like, you're in my chair, sir. Please move.
You're in my spot.
Obviously not. As Davino sits down next to Remy, you could see Remy shrink away from him a little bit.
Well,
Mind
that's
if I
probably
do?
because Davino smells like gunpowder.
And monkey.
Yeah,
As-
monkey and gunpowder. Oh, that sounds like a cool soap.
I'm not sure it is.
We should get
I didn't
Joey
say it
on.
was a good soap.
I am going to impose a certain structure on this so it doesn't turn into complete chaos like it might have a tendency to. So I will be coming to you each in turn to find out questions or things you're saying. So in the meantime, if I haven't got to you, it's just because it hasn't come around to you. So hang on, I'll get to you. So as you guys are entering and seating yourselves, Maurice says to Inara, says, lovely to see you, madame. Un bon surprise. And then turns to Sarandel and says, mon Dieu, you have not fallen in love, mon ami. How could you not? But you must know, of course, should you marry, the damage to your reputation. Tut, tut. What would your father say?
I have no contact with my father at this time. And fortunes change. Fortunes and status change? I don't know. I don't know how that would be.
Of course,
You should have just challenged him to a duel.
Of course, before I employed her to your service, I had to test her quality for myself.
Now you should challenge
says
him
with
to
a
a
wink.
duel.
Is
hold on.
is he reacting hostilely with this?
Hold on. As he says that, he'll accidentally knock some water or wine in towards his lap and stuff. I don't know how that would.
Oh, how clumsy.
How clumsy. Yeah.
As Payne is about to tense up to do something like that, you feel the iron grip of Inara on his leg, and in that obvious "don't do what you're about to do" thing, And she quips back and says, "If only briefly, as I recall, monsieur." And he responds, "Ah, you wound me, mon cher." Gordon turns to Sir Randall and says, "Maurice tells me you've come seeking the treasury as he does. Tell me, have you yet divined its location?"
Well, I've only, as you've probably are aware, my crew and I have only recently arrived and have yet to been able to put ourselves to task in divining such things. But these thing, but said task is paramount on our list of things to do after we have gotten your most excellent invitation. So probably on the morrow.
You're confident.
I am confident we will. This will happen.
Damn it. Got a burp coming up while I'm trying to say things. And now I'm...
TMI.
Yeah.
TMI.
Maurice says, "I found Mr. Reed shortly after we arrived. Everyone I spoke to said he's the most knowledgeable person in these parts with regard to exploring ruined cities."
So you have a lot of experience with these cities. Please do tell.
I meant to inform Andricus that as part of this speaking rotation here, I have very graciously moved you to the end of that rotation, so you had plenty of time to come up with something.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I kind of expect you to come up with something, though. All right. How does Spencer get in here?
Well, let's see. They are talking about treasure. He is totally not paying a lick of attention to it. So he's probably going to be talking to Dora in Dutch and explaining the whole meal, what we're about to eat and such like that. Since I failed on my concentrating on boring topics test.
Yeah, it's some kind of local thing. You're not super familiar with it, or at least not all of it, but it's good.
Yep, that's cool.
Also, you're finding you're having to bounce back and forth between English, French, Spanish, and Dutch the whole time
Why am I having to do that?
because people are speaking French and Spanish, and you're speaking Dutch to Dora.
Right, yeah, but I'm not paying it. I'm, super distracted, not really paying attention to their whole, hey, we're going for treasure.
You probably accidentally talked to her in Spanish,
That's true.
and then she gave you that look like, "Spencer, English?"
Right. No, it's Spencer. Dutch. Oh, right.
Dutch. Captain Hayden.
He will be just observing at the beginning, and then he's going to direct his attention to Maurice, and he's going to say, "Mr. Bossonard, is it? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Unfortunately, I do not speak French."
That's right, you don't, do you?
"It seems we are chasing the same prize. I wonder, if we find it first, what would your reaction be?"
He will respond to that with, Sir Randall and I have a wager that whoever sets foot in the treasury first will, the other will write an article in the French paper, I can't remember the name of it, and the London Times, declaring what a superior treasure hunter the other one is.
And that is the length of it.
For the most part, I'm just hope Bostonard, Monsignor, Ponsonard. I don't know what the proper
Monsieur?
title. Monsieur Ponsonard, speaks, writes eloquently.
It's spelled Payne. Get it right. Ulysse turns to Captain Hayden and asks you, "What route did you take to Havana? Did you cut across the shoals or take the channel?"
We cut across the shoals.
Did you
We
find it
figured
difficult?
it would save us some time. And in fact, it did. No, it was not difficult. I am an experienced seaman.
He said seaman.
Get it out of your system. Yeah, you guys will go back and forth about the particulars of sailing across there. It turns out that they had actually done the same, as expected. They didn't encounter any difficulties necessarily, although the last part was tricky as it was. Rogers,
Yes.
how will Rogers contribute?
Boy, let's see here. I think I will look at our host and say something to the effect of, "This is very fine wine. From where did you get it?"
And he will tell you that the wine is imported from the Mediterranean, Spain, Cadiz, I think.
I'll simply polish off my glass and look around to see if someone will bring me more wine.
And someone will. Sir Randall, you're in the process of asking Gordon about his experience, and he will have told you by this point that he has sponsored a number of expeditions to local ruins, some of which have returned with some trinkets here and there that you see.
You have some very nice pieces. I would love to, when the time is appropriate and right, to examine them more closely.
Maurice will interrupt it and say that, well, our host is being very modest, but he happens to have also been on the Boulay expedition. He was a part of it.
What's that?
Yeah, please. Background.
Because you probably don't remember.
Nope.
Sir Randall
Remember what I
has
did
the
yesterday.
journal of Edward Neville, which is what he has been using to locate the treasury. That's the source of all his, or the bulk of his knowledge on it. Edward Neville being a guy that worked with Captain Morgan when he was still alive.
Captain Morgan.
Maurice has been using the journals of the Boulay expedition, which is a French-led expedition to the treasury long after Morgan. They actually consulted with Edward Neville, but he was not a part of that. He was very old by that time. This was about 17 years ago, I think. So the Boulay expedition is the source of Maurice's knowledge on the subject. And I don't know how much Sir Randall knows. I'm going to assume that he knows that the journal exists, and if there were copies of it available, he would have gotten hold of it, as he has no doubt exhausted all research potential.
No doubt.
So, does he have more recent journals that he might be willing to part with, or let me review?
Unfortunately, no. There are very few copies of that journal that survive, and Maurice has apparently gotten hold of one of them.
Maurice has it. I thought it was.
Yeah, Maurice has it.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway.
I was thinking it was Reed had them.
So, anyway, it was your turn.
Right. Let's see. I would probably. I'd like to ask him, about. I guess what any consistencies that he's found and or he's heard of in the various expeditions, or that he's seen. Like the Mayans are very keen to putting riddles or traps or that kind of stuff.
He would say that most of the expeditions that go out there don't find much typically, because these places have been abandoned for so long, since before the conquistadors got here. So what has been found has been pieces and small things littered about that haven't been looted already, and they've not found any signs of that level of cleverness, I suppose.
And what dangers has he found are most prevalent in such expeditions?
Disease, animals, occasional Indians that have camped out nearby. Some are less friendly than others. Inara will remark to Mr. Reed and say, "I see no Mistress Reed here." And he responds with, "Sadly, no. With all the work and traveling I have to do, who has the time? The servants know this house far better than I, I'm afraid. Perhaps if this expedition succeeds, I can finally settle down."
What is your interest in Bonsonard's and I's expedition?
More wealth than you can imagine.
Well, I'm trying to get to the, why is he, what's his interest in what we're doing? Why does he care, kind of thing?
He would say, well, fame and fortune, same as you, I suppose. But I also have this need to complete the mission that the Blue expedition failed to do.
Is he looking to join one of our groups?
He would say, no, I'm a little too weak these days to go along. I am considering whether or not to sponsor Monsieur Boissonnaud's expedition. Although, if you're interested in that sort of thing, we may discuss it.
I see. That's what I guess I guess there would be some kind of percent, or there would be something what would he want out of
Fame and fortune.
Well, I know, but what would that look like in general?
Fame and fortune.
Right.
He would say that normally he'll take a cut of whatever they find, or first pick, or something like that. That's been the case in the past. Oh, right. Let's see here. After the meal is finished, you guys have been eating throughout this time. Gordon will turn to Serenal and say, "Are you familiar with the game of billiards?" And we'll get up and head back in that direction.
Right. I'm familiar, but I hope you do not take offense at my lack, of skill.
I bet the frog's better than you are.
Probably, because I have no skill.
Yeah, apparently billiards have been around since the 14th century in some form or another.
That doesn't surprise me.
But the best I can tell at this point is that it's a bit like playing croquet on a table. It's not exactly the same. And, like a dumbass, I've got this image over here of it, and I didn't actually load it so I could use it in the game.
Way to go, dumbass.
That's the kind of day I've been having.
He's making excuses for not doing anything all week. We can see right through you.
As Spencer is entering the room in somewhat proximity as people are moving around the table and whatnot, he passes by Mr. Reed, and two things happen. One, he gets a monster headache.
Oh dear.
And two, he's pretty certain he saw a snake wrapped around his neck, choking him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe two. It seemed like there were two heads.
Wait, whose neck?
I'm not going crazy. I'm not going, oh dear. Now I gotta remember what this means.
You will also note that his movements are somewhat labored.
You have
he
to make
looks
a
like
fright
he
check.
is feeling ill somehow. And he did mention earlier that he's having some kind of weakness.
Did you change the fright check thing?
No, I didn't, did I?
I know you were talking about it, and I wasn't sure if you had added a different one or if we're just using the normal.
Wonder if that counts.
What? Yeah. Well, You said there is a two-headed snake. That means I'm going crazy.
Well, no, I mean he knows what's going on because of the headache. He knows that's the magic sense kicking off. He just doesn't fully understand it. But does he think that makes him crazy? Not sure. But the basic rule is, with the updated version of the fright checks, was you just are stunned for the number of rounds based on the failure, and I think there's another roll to see if there's some kind of permanent effect to it. But you didn't fail by that much.
Well, that
It
was
was
just
probably
the
easy.
self-control roll, right? So
Yes.
failure of the self-control roll means you have to make a fright check roll. And then if you fail the
Right.
fright check, you go to the table.
That is true.
No. Make a self-control roll whenever you're exposed to the object. If you fail, you basically are treated as if you had failed a fright check. So you just straight away
Oh,
roll
okay.
against the table. Wow. Whoosh. Wow. Apparently, the food did not fit
Okay.
well with me.
That was a terrible roll. He's not going to faint because of that. He's just going to
Go sit down.
I
be
need
really
to sit
bothered
down.
about it.
Feel faint.
So he's going to sit out for a minute or two.
While staring at the two-headed snake.
He only sees that briefly, and then it goes away when the headache
That
goes
doesn't
away.
help.
Dora will be looking at him with that. What's wrong with you? Let's see. Where am I?
Over there. No, you're looking
No,
at the
I'm
wrong
not.
place. That's the wrong place.
All right. So, is Sarandel going to play?
Yes.
You should bet money and lose.
And Maurice will totally play against you.
Are we playing pairs?
That would make sense, actually. Then Gordon will say English versus French, as tradition demands.
All right. Then my intent in that regard would be to play to set Gordon up for the good shots.
Playing the
I
game.
have no
so to
idea
speak.
how that would work. I'm going to presume that would be games.
Which I have not.
Yeah,
Right. Do
nobody's
you have
going to
any
have
skills?
I have
Except-
skill.
Except maybe Gordon, who's gonna kick everybody's ass because he
that.
knows
IQ
this game.
-4.
It would be Dex.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking it would be Dex -4 in this case, given the nature of it.
Carousing. I don't know.
You could.
I don't know if that would.
I could see that. At any rate, first up is going to be Sarandel while you guys set the balls up and get started after the explaining of the rules.
Hayden will notice the library and he'll wander in there and he'll say, "If I may," directing that to Reed.
You're cutting in line. Also, he'll say, yes, go right ahead.
Gross.
That wine apparently went straight to your head.
Yep. I did warn him.
Well, maybe you'll get lucky and the frog will roll an 18.
Well, one can only hope.
You're not sure if everybody's just kind of flubbing it on purpose to make Reed look good, but it sure made him look good.
We're outdoing each other to make him look the best.
Yeah.
Or you're just both really incompetent at it.
That too.
So, Payne has any questions or offerings?
Oh my goodness.
Well, he said he was in a previous expedition, right?
Yeah. So
Would Payne not be asking about
Yeah.
that?
right. And that's, I mean, the most basic question right there would be, how did it go? What was it like? And
Okay.
let him tell the story as we play, kind of thing.
So, given that the basics of the story are, and Maurice will do a little back and forth as they're doing that, because Maurice knows the story by heart the way you know Neville's journal. But there, it was about four Frenchmen that went on that organized the expedition, led by Francois Boulet, and they had interacted with Neville at some point, and that's their inspiration for it. And Boulet is some antiquarian specializing in the region and that sort of thing, so he was all too happy to get in on that. And they knew some things and did not know some things that you know, and it took them several tries. They went to a number of different places in the Yucatan looking for the treasury because they didn't have exact directions, and obviously most of them failed. But at some point in that process, while Reed was here working for the previous factor, which he now runs the factory for, he was recruited into the expedition and went along. They called him Longley. And the expedition, during that process, Reed contracted malaria. And so when they actually got to the location, he was completely delirious and basically doesn't remember much of anything. And so the story goes that they did not succeed. Oh, wait. Oh, back up. They weren't getting anywhere in the story until this priest showed up. And this priest was a missionary going out to the Indian tribes and that sort of thing. And he said that he knew where it was. And so that was the reason why they had gotten there, because the priest showed up and actually led them straight to it, more or less. But he also insisted that they didn't record anything, so there's nothing in the journals about the specifics of where they went. And as said, Reed was delirious by the end of it, so he did not know where they were. He could not get back there if he tried. And all he knows is that they didn't find what they were looking for. They all went off their separate ways, and he never saw them again.
Does he remember about where he encountered this priest, the name of the priest?
I remember that was 17 years ago.
Right. Any others that he knows that are around that remember this expedition other than him?
As the story went, he has had no contact with them since then. They were never seen again. Right. You guys are a little bit into the game and into the story when Remy LeBlanc excuses himself and says he has some papers to take care of, and will bid everyone good night and go off somewhere else in the mansion. At which point Maurice remarks, after he leaves, says, well, he lasted longer than I thought he would. Spencer,
That's me.
after some time you recover.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out how to ask about that without, being weird.
I just realized I actually skipped Divino. How the hell
Okay.
did I
Because
miss
he's so
that?
quiet.
Yeah, then you should do Divino.
Well, he got off easy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to really participate.
Oh, right. He has clearly got some kind of illness.
Somewhat?
Illness.
Oh, right, yeah. Probably need to ask about that and see if he has been adequately treated or some such. Just by visual, can I attempt diagnosis? Sort of figure out. Wow, why is my diagnosis so low?
You can attempt a perception-based diagnosis. I would say that's going to be at a -4 for not actually,
Good Lord,
breaking out
okay,
the
yeah.
instruments and whatnot.
That's gonna be tough.
Do you have any other skills that could aid, like pathology or anything like that? You said malaria. I wonder if knowing about malaria would help you.
Well, that's reasonable. I'll make it a -2.
Well,
instead
that's
of 4.
slightly better. I'm going to double check my actual sheet to confirm if that's actually what my diagnosis skill is. Holy crap, I need to put more points in that. Only got 1 point in it.
Well, he didn't stay in school for that long.
That's true. No, that's not true. He was in school for entirely too long. Big fat no. Yeah.
Just based on your visual scan of the obvious nature of his malaise, you might call it. It's kind of difficult to say what might be the cause. And you did bring it up,
Yes.
so he will have said that. Well, yeah, it was a pretty bad case of malaria. Of course, that was 17 years ago, but it does come back sometimes, and the local physicians are baffled as to why.
Right. Well, he wasn't bitten by a snake or anything, was he?
No one ever said anything about snakes, and he was cared for when he was found in the jungle stumbling around, and they never said anything about snake bites.
Damn, I was hoping that was gonna trigger a head or a reaction.
Yeah, it did not.
Does that conform to what I know about malaria, about the stuff coming back and such like that?
What
I have no
physician?
idea. Would that be a physician?
I'd be willing to call that physician, yeah.
Well, that's a better check than by
Indeed.
1 point.
Well, you know some stuff about malaria. At least it would be sensible to learn about malaria coming to this part of the country or the world. And while it could potentially have some lingering effects, I suppose, it's not necessarily common for it to recur so long afterward, as far as I know, anyway.
Yes, that is a little odd then.
He'll tell you he's spent a great deal of money trying to get a cure for it. And Sir Randall has gone off. So, Davino.
Well, he was going to talk to Remy, but then Remy left.
Well, I'll give you a second right before he leaves.
No, this was going to be a longer conversation. It wasn't going to be a quick thing.
Well, I did skip you before.
Okay. He would have said, Remy, you're the purser, yes?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, as soon as you start addressing him, he gets the big deer in the headlights look on his face.
We have a purser too, although he rather likes to put things in his purse rather than pay.
That's not true. We don't know that. We actually don't know that Claude has sticky fingers.
Claude isn't
Not yet,
actually
anyway.
the purser.
Wait, I'm the purser.
Well, he was going to try to make a joke because purser
kind of
puts
purser.
thing in the purse.
Actually, you don't know that anyway. Who was that? I
Well,
think
that
it's
worked out.
Spencer. Spencer was the only one that actually saw Claude stealing anything.
Well,
And that guy deserved it because he tried to abduct Dora.
That's true. And succeeded, technically. Briefly.
then he'll probably, if that is out the window, then he'll probably try to.
Davino tried to make a joke. Remy
Davino
didn't
tried to
seem
make a
get
joke. Yeah, no, it failed.
It. Davino doesn't speak French, does he?
Nope, not at all.
Right, I had to translate the joke. Didn't work.
Remy speaks broken English, so he can communicate, but not particularly well.
He frequently says, "Wah, ha, ha, ha."
Yeah, upon the joke failing, he'll just sort of saunter off, not
smile and disengage.
Yeah, basically, and he'll head over, try to just sort of look at the scenery. Can't exactly catch much of the conversations, but we'll just try to walk around, pick up what he can, listening to Bossonard's crew, unless they only speak French and he's host. But
yeah, Ulysse speaks better English than Remy does.
Right.
Well,
Now what?
Com Junkie picked a weird spot to run off.
Well, what
Okay.
about Lieutenant Rogers? He needs to do
Well, I was
something.
about to say let's get Rogers and Hayden involved here. So we'll make Rogers go first. It's been a bit.
So who was it that left to go to their room?
That was Remy. He's the purser for La Dame Blanche.
I think I'm gonna try to follow him.
To do what?
Spy on him.
He's gonna punk him and take his shoes. Just his shoes.
Okay. Well, I suppose you would see him. I guess he's going to go out that direction.
So
Yeah.
I think I will excuse myself into the inner garden area and see if I can't get into the doorways around here.
Well, since you did that, I have an excuse to use the image.
Woohoo!
Well, you get a look around the place over there. You see that he's entered one of the bedrooms and closes the door behind him.
Which bedroom?
And he may have seen you.
Man.
Let's see.
Do I get to do a stealth check?
You can. Are you feeling stealthy? Well, maybe he didn't see you. It looked briefly like he might have. And I thought there were more rooms than that. But apparently not. Okay, he is well, just to be brief about it, you're not going to see a whole lot of anything of interest.
Okay.
Hayden.
We'll be wandering through the library looking for anything interesting.
Well, that kind of depends on what you find interesting. There's not a whole. There's actually some relating to seamanship and that sort of thing, but quite a bit of history and, academics, I guess.
I think I had the history skill, so yeah, he'll be looking for books on military history.
Yeah, there are a couple in there. Nothing you haven't seen before, I suppose. Nice copies of it, though.
Well, he will just pass his time perusing these books. Every now and then he'll sort of look over to see how the game's going, but he'll head down in the books.
We should probably see if this guy has decent maps of the interior.
If there are some maps, that will definitely be something of interest to Hayden.
Well, they're not in that bookshelf.
Well, he'll be going through, looking at all the bookshelves.
Are you going to ask about maps?
No, he won't.
I'm thinking that might be something that Sir Randall might be interested in.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
So he'll just be walking along the bookshelves looking at the names and titles. If he sees maps, that's definitely something that will take his interest, and he'll have a look and see if those maps are of use to us.
So, while the game is ongoing, Maurice will say to Sir Randall, when last we spoke, it was with Mr. Holst. Have you discovered anything new since then?
Man, now I'm like, going.
Have I discovered anything new since then?
Trying to remember Holst. What was the Holst thing?
That
Holst
was
the
Nassau.
foe. Yeah, that was the foe. What's his name?
Hey, something that does occur to me, at least for you there, Mark, is
Speaking of Holst,
you
he's here
saw
actually.
Holst. That was long, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then that was totally what I was going to point out. Is like, yeah, you could like maybe go. You realize he's here, right?
Yeah, Holst, or as I've known him previously, Mr. Ned Long, was actually arrived just recently. Again, playing up the "we've never met" card.
Mm-hmm. Maurice will say, "Oh, is he? Well, perhaps we should seek him out then. Maybe he knows something helpful."
Oh, if he remembers who you are.
That would be like, who are you again? That's
By the way,
thing. It's like every time he gets shot in the head, he loses all of his memories, which sort of makes sense because shot in the head.
By the way, Inara has been helping your team by leaning over at specific angles at awkward moments.
Oh, for LaCroix throwing his game.
And at some point in this process, a servant enters and approaches Mr. Reed with a note, and Mr. Reed takes it, and his demeanor changes somewhat and announces that I have here a note addressed to everyone here, and it is not signed, and all it says is leave off seeking the treasury or die.
I take my shot and goes like Ned Long. It's like, well, some kind of age era appropriate statement. Dollars to donuts. It's Mr. Our infamous Ned Long. However, that would sound in era appropriate jargon or idiom.
Now you had you had talked to Maurice about Long, I think, and
I think he
I
warned him.
tried to warn him. I tried to warn him about him.
yeah, I know you did, and I can't remember how he reacted to that necessarily, but you told him not to trust him.
Because he's totally going to trust anything that Hayden tells him.
And you
Sorry,
guys weren't
Randall.
Well,
you guys weren't actually aware of him while you were in Kingston. You weren't aware of him till after you left Kingston. So he didn't interact with him back then. Yeah, so when it comes to the name Edward Long, Maurice is only aware of it because you mentioned it, and Gordon doesn't seem to recognize it at all. But he says, well,
his other dude was there, I thought. Remy, wasn't he at the meet?
he was there with Ufa Holst, yeah, quote unquote. And Reed will turn to Mr. Payne and Mr. Boissonade and say, well, shall I take it from your demeanors that you have no intention of heeding this warning?
I've dealt with him before. I'll deal with him again.
Yeah, you dealt with him by shooting him in the forehead.
And if it takes a second shot to finish the first job, so be it.
All right. Let's see here. Actually, as a Spencer, did you ever come up with a focus?
No, not yet.
I was going to say you could be experimenting with that, trying to see if he could see the snake again, and being weird.
No,
So
he hasn't figured the focus out yet. Not yet.
Maurice will respond to that question with well, of course I'm still going. Take more than threats to cause me to go home. And so
Especially
Gordon
from
asks,
someone cowardly enough to just send a letter instead of threatening us to our face. Am I right?
well, we should be well protected here. Where are you staying in town?
He's only asking because he wants to know where to, send the assassins.
Right. And I'll give him our current hotel address and the,
Right.
Oh, that's a crappy place. Why are you there?
Rubbish. You will stay here at my hacienda. I insist.
would never think to turn down such a gracious offer.
Very well. I don't think I have room for all of your crew here, but I do own an inn, and he'll rattle off a location that's inside the walls here. He said, I'd be happy to host you and your crew there as long as you need. It seems we may need the protection after all.
Again, you're most gracious.
So that, for the record, that does include the lot of you.
Yay?
Do they accept pets?
As long as you don't have monkeys, because we can't handle monkeys in it.
With the
Hold on, I gotta
game
feel for
over, he's running off. Well, with the game over, you guys retire to the sitting area. I guess Davino can decide where he's sitting.
I would ask about maps. I heard that part.
Okay.
At an appropriate spot, but I'll be right back.
Gordon will, as you guys are sitting back down, he'll have some brandy brought in, and allow everybody to get a drink if you want. Maurice will turn to Spencer since he's nearish and ask, where is Claude? I wanted to speak to him.
That's a good question. Disappeared. He's around town somewhere. I need to remember. Have hold on. Which one should
Claude is
that
unwell, feeling under the weather.
be? Right. That's perfect. I failed the trivial detail. So when Spencer is referring to Claude, he's going to be bouncing back and forth with pronouns.
Oh. The secret roll hasn't come up yet.
Oh,
Actually.
never mind then.
I think it might have, actually, now that I say that, but...
Okay, so if the secret roll came up, which unfortunately doesn't matter because is inappropriate because the character isn't active.
I wonder if that's going to get a rise out of anybody. Nope. Was Hayden actually going to participate? He's been being antisocial, as has Rogers.
Well, after the game has finished, unless Hayden found something particularly interesting, he will return to the group.
There's some really nice ship models.
He will have a look at those. And he'll remember the Akron because it's going to become important in his future.
I know, right?
Well, if Rogers has seen nothing of interest and there's obviously no reason to spy on this fellow, then I'll return to the billiards room and
just in time
see
for
what's
brandy.
going on there.
Apparently, it's brandy time.
Well, then I'll have some brandy.
And once again, needed to say something to Sir Randall, and he's buggered off.
Probably kid aggro.
Spencer,
That's me.
got any questions or information to pass on, I suppose?
Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. Clearly, I'm going to attempt another diagnosis thing after I get back to the to where I keep the diagnostic manual, but that's not here. The cartography skill is just for making maps, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not aware of another use for it off the top of my head. I seem to recall it came up in DF-16, but I don't recall in what regard, other than, the obvious.
Yeah, I guess I'll probably be making sure that Dora's not particularly bored, or if she is, maybe we leave. I don't know. I can't think of anything that comes to mind.
There were a couple of instances where Mr. Reed, as he sat down over there, attempted to engage with Dora, and Dora's looking back at you like, what the hell did you just say?
Right, yeah, so I'll have to definitely do some translating and advise him that she is unable to speak as far as we know.
So let's go with Hayden, since he rejoined. And he's sitting on the corner of the billiards table like a cool guy.
That's because he's very cool.
Is he? He just thinks he is.
That's all that matters.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, I can't think of anything else on there.
Everybody's running out of juice. Sir Randall.
I got something.
Yay!
Hold that thought.
I think I got something.
Quick, write it down before
Not
you
yet.
forget it.
All right, I'll write it in so you can see it and then keep going.
Actually, are you sitting down?
I don't know. What seems appropriate here? I'm probably out. I know what I'm doing. I'm looking at one of his trinkets or something nearby, allowing the ladies to sit, and I'll stand. He has something I'm looking at, and I know what I'm.
All right. In the process of everybody shuffling around, apparently, Maurice, actually no, it's Reed. Reed says to Payne, Maurice tells me you found the compass. Do you happen to have it with you? May I see it?
Oh,
Dun,
but
dun.
but such things are my ace in the hole.
I was gonna say playing close to the vest. That's a bit early for that idiom, I think. Trade secrets.
I give the apologetic. You know how that is.
It's all right. I understand. We haven't entered into any arrangements here. I can see you two are competing.
They're very close.
What was your brilliant plan here?
Marie, I'd like if I don't know how I do this because I am not this eloquent or anything. I'd like to try and
You know.
manipulate the conversation. See, he knows, like to manipulate the conversation towards the expedition that Maurice is familiar with,
Oh, wow.
and from his logs, so that I could draw out clues that he may be aware of, or Maurice might, kind of do the say something or misinterpret something in hopes that either Gordon will make a correction, or even better, Maurice would make a correction, or even manipulate Remy or one of his other crew to say
Okay.
something about what they know of.
Gotcha.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know if this is quite correct off the top of my head, but I'm thinking fast talk will probably work here.
And Mark is like, bargain well and good.
Oh, baby.
Damn. Should have made you roll that in the
crit
box.
by 10 is awesome. Whenever you need it, that's the dude.
All right, so you start getting things wrong intentionally so that they keep correcting you. What parts of the story? What are you trying to what are you trying to get at here?
How his clues and my clues correlate, and maybe gain some knowledge or little bits of
So what you're saying
like
is you may
putting
want to
the
get that
missing pieces of the puzzle together, kind of thing.
Okay. So, some basic facts you can trick them into giving up is that Maurice and the Boulay expedition did not have Morgan's compass, for starters. They never found that. They were aware of it. They also did not have the riddle. And so even if they had the compass, they didn't know exactly what to do with it. Now, you do recall that Maurice has more than likely Maurice has a copy of the compass at this point. And chances are pretty good that the reason why the Boulay expedition never found the treasury before the priest showed up was because of the fact that they did not have the compass or any of those specifics. So there is that. You will also draw out another piece that the Boulay expedition, everyone on it, with the exception of Reed, is presumed deceased at this point. Reed was himself returned to Campeche some weeks later by some people who found him stumbling around in the woods and nursed him back to relative health at the time. Let's see what else. The riddle and the compass are the primary difference between the two accounts. Also, one of the reasons why you got the impression that the Boulay expedition are deceased, the journals actually end at the location, and it doesn't say anything about what happened after that. So,
Does he remember? Does Gordon remember who found him and where they took him after? My thinking is,
yeah.
if I can track that down, maybe there's some record of them where they found Reed, and then kind of have
So
a jump off point.
In this particular exchange, you didn't get that specific information, but you feel like you probably could. Let's see. I wanted to check and see if there's anything else that might be useful. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, right. Some specifics about the Belay expedition that you're able to get are it was about 3-4 days of travel one way to the site, and they had intended to stay on site for 3 days with the intent to map and catalog and move whatever's portable and potentially return for the rest later. They had about a dozen porters and a couple of mules with them. And given that it was almost 20 years ago, nobody knows what happened to any of the porters. It's possible they never showed up either.
How well known is this expedition in the local area?
Not at all, really. Most people that have any idea about it were involved in it. And with Reed being the only one left that's still in town that anybody knows about.
What season?
What season now?
No, what season did the expedition
Oh,
occur?
they actually went in the autumn. Not that, it's a lot different. I guess that might be the rainy season.
I'm just using information to narrow down anyone who may.
Actually, am I wrong about that or am I right about that? Hang on. I have that. Oh, wait. No, I didn't specify the month. So, yeah. We'll stick with that. But it is 1704 is when the actual expedition occurred. Oh, yeah, that was 21 years ago, not 17.
Math is hard.
17 years ago is when Edward Neville died.
So, big question that he might have picked up is: you said all the people were dead in in Reed's expedition. Did they all die suspiciously, or were they like natural deaths?
Nobody knows. They were gone, and the revelation here is that they are presumed dead. Nobody ever saw them again, and no remains were ever found.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Davino, do you have anything?
Not particularly, no.
Yeah, you're supposed to come up with something.
Yeah, I know.
You suck.
I do.
Did Hayden ever come up with a counter here?
No,
I had addressed you, but you didn't actually respond to it.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't really have anything to contribute. This is not really his thing.
There's a bit of a pause in there, and Ulysse will chime in and say, so, if you succeed in finding this treasure, what do you intend to do with your share?
Is that directed at Hayden?
Sort of everybody. But, yeah, Hayden in general.
I will use it to find my son. By any chance, has anyone here in this room heard of or know the whereabouts of a Matthew Hayden?
And everybody on the crew starts rolling their eyes. Here we go again.
Or
It's
perhaps
Sumner, by
the
way.
card... Sumner. Or perhaps the Cardinal Virtue.
No, nobody has heard of it here.
It
Well,
does bring
that
up an
is
interesting question,
what
though.
I
It's like,
intend to do with my share.
wonder what I would do with a big old share of money.
I guess Hayden would also add, I've never really been a man of riches. The Navy has always provided everything I needed. So I would be at something of a loss. Perhaps it would be time to retire. Completely.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work for you.
Well,
You'd go mad.
he knows that that's not really an option.
Yeah, because he's a workaholic. That would drive him
Mhm.
insane.
Not only that, he knows that his time
Plus,
here
he's
is
gonna
limited.
die.
What about you there, Lieutenant?
Well, I suppose I'm listening in, but if I came into a great deal of wealth, I would find
Open up a whorehouse.
some. I find some place where I could simply retire, perhaps purchase a small vessel and enjoy some leisurely cruises.
You can do that without any money.
Leisurely, he said.
Money.
I believe I would open a cannon foundry.
A cannon foundry.
Indeed.
Would you have it staffed with monkeys?
I was planning on receptionist for Boom.
Receptionist monkey.
Or perhaps commissar might be more appropriate.
Yeah,
Floor
that's
boss.
Precisely.
floor boss.
Gordon will say, I know this might be a controversial idea to you here, but if you all were to combine forces, you would increase your likelihood of success tremendously.
I am absolutely going to be watching, doing the tennis back and forth between
Twitch.
Sir
Twitch.
Randall
Hi, Twitch.
and
Hi, Twitch.
Sir Randall and Mr. Is he like a Sir as well? Bostonard?
No, he isn't. He doesn't
Well,
have a title.
both of them are going to be like all eye twitchy, and it's going to be kind of amusing to watch.
Ah,
You
but
can
then
hear
that takes
the
away
bees.
That
And then I'm going to throw fire or gasoline on the fire and say, "That's not a terrible idea, actually."
shot.
Smile innocently when Sir Randall glares at me.
It's like, but then that would take away the thrill of the game.
You can tell Maurice is actually thinking about it. It's like, I really want to beat him, but
Also, really want the treasure and to work together.
I think it's a wonderful idea. And who knows? Perhaps you can.
You probably
Give
say
her
that
a share.
just as I'm like getting ready to drink, or just after.
Yeah, maybe.
Cough, cough.
Yeah, Ulysses is kind of doing the same thing. He's like looking back and forth at them, like, are they gonna just blurt something out?
And you can get over your difficulties with one another in the process.
Yeah, but I don't have enough character points to just buy him off, right?
Oh, I didn't say it was going to be successful. I'm fully expecting one of you to stab the other in the back. It's just going to be like, even odds which one goes first. And no, I am not saying that out loud. That would be
Or
dumb.
are you?
That's true, or am I?
Well, with that, he says, well, can give it some thought, and we'll bid you all a good night.
It's a
And say
wonderful idea.
we shall speak about this again tomorrow.
I'm totally going to wait
So-
until, yeah,
Go ahead.
okay. I was going to say, I'm totally going to wait until it's just the rest of the crew, like where it's not just us. And absolutely going to ask, is like, did anyone else see the snake?
It was not by
No?
our choice.
He had a
What
pet, did he have a
snake?
pet snake?
Well, maybe.
No, then I did not see any pet snakes.
Well, we
Nor
are in
did
the
I.
tropics, so it's not unheard of for snakes to be in the house.
Did you see one in the garden?
No.
Actually,
not,
it'd probably be, where did you see the snake?
yeah,
Dun
yeah,
dun
that's like-
dun.
then it's like, oh yeah, should I even say have?
Now I
Al-
have to answer.
Like, well, it was
What have I done?
wrapped around Mr. Reed.
Like
You saw a
it was
snake
like
on Mr. Reed?
like an embroidered
Didn't you?
snake or something. Like
Hmm.
embroidered for certainly, right?
You
Well,
must be
it was
going
al-
mad.
It was only there for a moment.
Like it snuck up on him and then slithered off, and no one noticed.
Hmm.
Maybe it
Perhaps
was a
the
trick.
light Should be more than I thought.
Could easily have been a trick of the light. Something in the flaw in the glass reflection.
Though I did have a headache at the time. Hmm.
Well, we
Well.
have been on. We have only been on shore for a little while. You're still recovering from being out at sea.
Hmm.
At this point, I
Ninjas
will
attack. Native American ninjas.
no. Where would you like to retire to? I'll let you pick a bed.
Wait, we're not going to be sleeping here.
Or
Are we?
are you not? He did offer. He insisted.
Oh, I got to
least
go back
Payne
and
was
get
gonna
all
take
my
him up on
stuff.
it. Well, that may be.
We can send for a porter or something, or one of his servants to.
I'm going to go get my stuff
So you gotta go grab your stuff and come back.
if I remember to come back. Yes.
I presume you will. Where will you stay then?
What are the guest rooms?
I'm gonna assume because I didn't get a count of this beforehand, so we'll say everything on the this first floor is available, and there is actually a second floor,
Oh,
which is where the Dom Blanche crew are.
Yeah.
Well,
That'll be the captain and Roger's room.
this has got a view.
Oh, for a minute, I thought that was a closet. It was like a bed in a closet thing, like it was a servant quarters or something for a bit.
What? Where?
Here.
Oh,
All right. What about Spencer?
Unless that's his room.
I
Unless
am trying to figure that out.
Davino?
Probably at the inn in the town if you'll allow it.
So not here.
No, not here.
Probably the most comfortable bed he's going to sleep in a long time.
Yeah, okay.
Just out of curiosity, where did you get this map?
I don't recall.
Probably, I'm going to wager a guess the internet.
Well, I mean, aside
No.
from the internet, but
I know, right?
I did modify it a little.
Why? Was it not good enough for you?
It didn't have enough billiard tables.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny because you did a really
Yeah.
decent job because I'm like,
Oh,
I wouldn't
yeah,
have
with
noticed.
the,
Yeah, because I'm like,
yeah,
if the
okay,
billiard
with
table
the
doesn't belong,
Well-
well, actually, you did a pretty good job to make it look like it belonged.
I'm not gonna put this out there without doing my utmost, or at least enough that you can't tell.
Yeah, I would never have noticed. I mean, now that you say something, but even that,
So the official word is that Davino is staying with the rest of them. Now, you guys were given a location for his inn if you guys wanted to stay there.
probably
You
send
don't
Davino
necessarily
back
need to
with
do that
word.
tonight since everybody's already paid for a room,
Right.
and you probably have to catch up to them tomorrow. So, previous question I had asked was about the guard rotations. Davino, Rogers, and Hayden were all still going to be taking a guard shift, so they may get pulled away. FYI. And other than that, I think that's going to be the end of day 3. Or day 2. Day 2.
Oh, I was half expecting hexes to suddenly appear on this map.
I know, aren't you?
Exactly.
I know.
GM Mind Games. Monday, 26th of February. Today it is warming up a little bit again. And otherwise, not terribly interesting weather. So, stuff to do today. You have a number of things going on. You have Payne, who needs to do something with the compass and the riddle and whatnot. You have Hayden, who needs to give me a chronic pain roll.
Ooh, trying to fail.
Wow. Oh, right. That failed to fail. I guess that's not as bad. Okay. There is still the possibility for Davino to talk to the antiquities
Actually,
guy.
which works out because Randall could inform him that he'd like to see the logs, and I can use Davino to send such
Indeed.
message.
And I was also going to be trying to sell the 2 guns.
Okay.
And Davino doesn't want to be there when he sees his 2 ladies.
I think Spencer would probably like to see some of the crazy stuff there. That guy's place too.
That is a very good
Well,
point.
if you guys want to make a trip of it, there is also there is planning for a potential trip out into the jungle at some point.
Right, got to do
Although we
that.
haven't decided that, but people need to start thinking about it. You've also got death threats and Ned Long and weirdos on the beach.
We're definitely
Superpowers.
instituting a no one going off by themselves
Buddy system.
buddy system for sure. If not, threes, even better. Which actually brings me to it interesting. I think it'd be kind of fun to take the compass to what's his name, the antiquities dealer, and see what he might make of it.
What a twist!
I know, right?
So are you like intentionally assigning Dora to hang with Spencer because she's probably more competent than he is in a fight?
Well, I won't assign. I'll let you guys buddy
No,
up.
I'm just joking.
I mean, some buddying up will
Yeah,
definitely
does
be
Zanara
organic.
count?
Anara does count and cannot be left alone. I mean, if she wants to buddy up with Dora, I mean, the gentlemanly thing would be to assign a male protector.
Wow, are you kicking her to the curb?
No, she's more than. I mean, I prefer her by my side.
Uh-huh. You're kicking her to the
She's-
curb.
She's an independent.
There's a dirty joke in there somewhere.
There might be a dirty joke in there.
Okay, well, the question I have is, for those of you that don't have a specific thing in mind to do today, you also have, death threats and Ned Long and weirdos on the beach.
Don't go to the beach.
I didn't take.
Avoid
I'm not
Ned
sure I want to deal with the weirdos on the beach again.
I think over the next, at least,
Contrary to
if I can probably shell out some funds to start working on getting.
Yeah.
Well, I want to look into. I think it'd be kind of fun to see what he says about if I can be there when he talks about Davino's rifle, but also get his take on the compass. Maybe he sees something that we don't. He seemed to be big into all kinds of antiquities and stuff like that. Probably set somebody on hiring porters and starting to research mule teams. and
Well, you don't
supplies.
know where you're going yet, though.
Well, but we know we're going to go
But you
out
can
there.
at least start looking into it, yeah.
Start putting people on retainer, as it were.
That's fair. So, given that, how are you going to break up the teams, and where are they going to go?
Anyone have any preference? Which
Oh, I need the thing.
the thing?
Oh, well, I need that thing too. Or somebody made a mess of this one. Right. Let's see. Let's call Imran the foreign trader. So Davino is Davino actually going to do that?
Yes, he will. He will bring the rifle and go to see the guy.
All right.
Is it safe to take the logs off a boat? I don't know if that's bad form or.
I don't know why. It's just a book. Now,
Yeah, eventually, most of them have to.
there's no reason you couldn't, for example, have Captain Hayden go with the books, since they're basically his charge. But that's up to you how you want to arrange that.
I guess Hayden will go with the books to make sure that there's nothing altered or pages removed or anything like that.
Well, I haven't arranged that yet, so
Well,
in the meantime.
well, since we know I know I had made arrangements to do it, but if we show up at his door, I don't think he'd turn us away.
Well, that's
He'd get
true.
2 stones with two birds,
So-
1 stone.
Just go ahead and go fetch him then.
Yeah,
Well, what about Rogers? That leaves Rogers all by his lonesome.
he can come too.
Yeah,
Rogers
Only get a
has to
big
stick
pot.
with the team.
I can tag along.
Well, that makes things a lot easier.
We don't split the party, and we're all protected.
what?
You know,
I need
Ed
to
Lon's
put a-
like, shucks, if I could have only gotten them alone.
need to put an Nara on there. She's on the team now. Nope, tokens. There you are. Damn it, grabbed the wrong one. All right, well, you got a big group heading over that direction. Let's see. Today is Monday.
I'm
There's
definitely
no-
going to mention to keep an eye open for
Snake.
well, snakes, but more importantly, Ned Long and or crew from Bonsanod's team, in case they're following
Oh,
us or
damn,
being.
something just occurred to me. When I referenced snakes, when I said, hey, did you see the snake? Isn't somebody got phobia against snakes?
Oh, actually, yes, Davino does. That was
That's why he's not staying there. He's like, I ain't staying
thought
in a
Rogers
place where
had
the
that.
snakes. Oh, I don't know.
No,
Yes,
Oh,
Rogers.
Rogers has it
Rogers
too.
does have.
Oh.
Rogers does have a phobia against or with snakes.
I didn't realize both of you had it.
That's funny.
Well, I suspect we're going to see some snakes along the way, guys.
All right, so you guys are you going to? What are you going
Why
to
did it
tell
have to be snakes?
your host when you are leaving?
Oh, we had a prior arrangement to meet with some town folks and to begin the preliminary plans of an expedition, or put together the preliminaries for a team.
Are you guys planning on?
I am going to something to note. I'm going to intentionally not go right out and accept his proposal. I'm kind of playing vague and non-committal.
Right,
Which he's really
Right.
good at.
because you're going to want to see if Wassenad buckles first. Okay. So I was
still
going to
think
ask.
you guys should consider teaming up.
When
I mean,
you,
The rational part of Randall is definitely thinking it's not a bad idea.
So
that's
when you
just the
guys are-
rational part.
when you guys are done talking to the antiquarian, are you going to come back here and disperse, or how are you going to handle that?
Well, I need to find out what now the 12 the riddle. I have it here somewhere. Thought I
Got it
wrote
all laid
it.
out for you.
Morgan's coin, higher ground, safe and sound, rising sun, second gun. So I will, amongst just the inner circle here, mention that I do intend to try and see if there's anything interesting about this riddle. The higher ground, safe and sound, rising sun, second gun. Second gun, I'm guessing, is a time.
So you're brainstorming the riddle.
Yes.
Are
And I'll
you?
give them, I'll tell the inner circle the riddle too, in case they want to kind of fiddle around with it.
Did you ever bring that up to him before? I
I
don't
wouldn't
remember.
have thought so. I'm not generally one to keep things from the inner circle, especially Spencer.
Not to plant any paranoia in your head, but are you talking about that at the hacienda, or are you
No.
waiting to get out of the hacienda before you start
Out of the hacienda,
brainstorming?
probably as
Okay.
we're kind of wandering along the path, keeping an eye out, make sure
Gotcha.
we don't have any immediate people.
All right, so you head out of the hacienda, out of the gate, and start heading. Or well, actually, you don't even have to leave. Yeah, he was inside town. So the town's not that big, so you don't have that far to go. So yeah, you guys will head out toward his place, and I have to find the thing. He will be in the house, and he will greet you. Oh, right. Hold that thought. You guys have to go back to the ship.
Yes, we do. That's where probably while we're on the boat, I'll bring up.
Okay, so ignore all that. You haven't talked to him yet.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to head out of the side gate, heading down through the barrio toward where your ship is anchored just a bit offshore. And as you are exiting the town, exiting the walls,
Ninja
you will
attack.
see that there is a crowd gathered on the beach, and they look concerned.
Crowd at the beach looking concerned.
Yes, and It looks like they're pulling something up out of the water.
I am nosy. I'm immediately heading there to investigate.
I'm curious.
Not even thinking about it.
Pretty curious, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we
I'm
had
curious.
quite a few curiousers.
Yeah, that's like almost
Curious
a
and curious.
default for PCs.
You're right.
It's like, as soon as I get, start in there in the crowd, I'm going to start
It's an
paying
easy way
attention
of breaking.
to
It's
what's
an
going
easy
on.
way. Yeah, it's an easy way to break the paranoia, PC paranoia.
Gonna be a body with vampire bite marks in the net.
I'm thinking it might be one of our crew.
It is a body. They are pulling up a body, or I should say, some of it.
Wasanard. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that would kind of suck. Like, wait.
It is not all of a body. You guys are going to get in close to see it? Question mark.
And, I'm
Yes.
using Spanish,
Yes.
so I'll definitely do the, excuse me, I'm a physician. Let me, take a look, if you don't mind.
They will say, it's too late for you, I'm afraid. And
Yes, I'd
two
like to
things.
find out. Yep.
So, one, there is about half a guy there. He
Well, he was
doesn't
half
look like
the
he's
man he
been in
used
the
to be.
water for that long. And specifically when it comes to Spencer,
Yep.
between your medical understanding and your fishing understanding, you'd say it looked like he was eaten by a shark.
All right, I do have fishing.
Also, you recognize the guy.
Huh? Who is he?
It is one of Boisonot's crew.
Oh no.
Not one of the ones with the name, but
That is one of Wasanard's crew.
That is quite unfortunate.
That is
If-
Seaman Pierre.
Actually, it is Pierre.
Really?
Good guess.
I was
I was
like,
I was going to say, if Claude were here,
French
Claude would
thing
actually know the guy.
was Now I need to see if I can't guess something else. Well, it would appear that he was been eaten by a shark.
So it would
Okay.
seem.
And can Rogers use observation to scope out the location and the people watching and see if there's anyone who's looking sort of out of place in all this? Maybe
Well, you
with an
sure
interest
can.
in what's going on.
You can roll that in the box.
With Gwyneth Paltrow's head, because that's in the box.
It is in the box. You scan the crowd, and also, you never took any Spanish, did you? I don't think you did.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you listen to people talking as well, but you don't understand what they're saying, really. And you see nothing that stands out to you as odd or out of place. All just very concerned people wondering why the hell this guy is been shark eaten.
Well,
Alrighty.
That's okay. That's a big shark, then probably.
Yeah. Suppose it could have been multiple sharks
That's true. It could have been multiple sharks.
without
Oh,
doing a full
ask,
forensic analysis.
Yeah, ask a local. Ask one of the locals. Like, have you had issues with sharks of late? Problems with sharks?
Right. So, along that line, I believe, where the hell did I put that?
Over there? Not there.
You always say that, but you're always wrong.
Yeah. Well, always wrong is like the story of my life.
Okay. I will have somebody make a roll against an 11. Open is fine.
Nosh, you do it, because that way we know we'll fail. Since Mel's not here.
You want the universe reaction?
Just a roll on a skill or whatever, something you have at 11.
Something I have at 11. Oh my.
Yeah.
I could do that. I have not tying at 11.
The specifics are not relevant. Not 11 dice.
There,
Hey!
success by 0 in my dancing.
Hey,
You have
Okay.
dancing. That's cool. I need to get dancing.
I have
Between-
dancing.
between the lot of you, your knowledge of this region, you realize that sharks are pretty common, but shark attacks are not.
Well,
Not impossible.
yeah.
Just doesn't happen all that much. And whoever
Stop
keeps
it.
throwing dice, stop it.
Totally, Mark. Being a smart ass.
Well, I was just seeing if it would do it as hundreds or if it would be tens.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Stop that. Right. And Spencer is asking the crowd about this, and they will say that this is not the first time recently.
Oh. Huh. Wonder if it's like actual sharks or if it's like shark men.
Who knows?
Wait,
Well,
like mermen?
presumably the GM knows, but I'm not gonna bet my life on that. Yeah, what about it, Mark?
Are there mermen? It could have been mer shark people. I mean, are there such thing as shark mer people or mer shark people?
I'm
Could any of
certain
us
no.
make an IQ based check to see if we identify that this is in keeping with what we've seen as shark attacks, maybe out in the ocean on whales or what have you?
That has already occurred, and just so you guys know, I have assembled some of this stuff behind the scenes, so we don't have to keep rolling every 5 seconds.
Yay!
Also,
Huh.
well, no, I won't say that.
Why not?
I'd be saying too much at this point. So that happened, and
Shark-
okay, so you guys continue, or let me.
Well,
stop.
I'm going to at least who's actually bringing the body in? Is it like
Oh, it's just some locals. Looks like a fisherman caught him in a net or something.
Okay, so are there any like officials of the town or anything like that?
They will say that they have fetched the constable, I guess, who I guess it would still be a constable here.
Okay, so if that with that in mind, it's like pass on that. Well, actually, I'll probably just wait. I'd be willing to wait until the constable arrives, unless it's like going to be a couple of hours, and relate that to the guy's identity, so they don't have to spend hours and hours trying to find out who he is.
Well, given that, do you want to split up here or have everybody wait?
Well, we could always just tell the townsfolk who he is.
It depends on. I guess it depends on it's like, yeah, we've sent word for the constable. It's like, well, do you know how long it's going to be till he gets here? Oh, that's a good question. We don't know. It's like, oh, well, if it's something like that,
Yeah.
then go, yeah, well, this dude belongs to the crew of that ship over there, and point towards, because I
Right.
think we can see it, right?
Yeah, you can see it from here.
Do we have a means, or have we established a means to signal our crew?
I don't know.
Called
Have you?
rowing out to the boat and saying, hey,
Is semaphore a thing?
Yeah,
Do not
somebody
go
has to be
swimming.
looking for it to see a semaphore. But there's no reason you couldn't. As far to my knowledge, you guys have not set up any sort of signals.
well, what are you thinking there, Brian?
Just to make sure that everything's okay with our crew.
Well, you're kind of heading that direction. If you recall, they got a place, or they got an inn close by where the ship is moored or anchored. So you'll be passing through there. Also, there will be two somebodies on the ship right now. Probably should be one of you, actually.
It might be Davino. We got to catch up to Davino.
Well, Davino's a key piece of this operation right now. Unless you guys want to wait for a couple of hours while he does his shift. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, never mind.
So Spencer's going to leave word.
Yeah.
And then you guys continue on. You will reach the inn and or docks near where you are going to depart for the ship. Is everybody going to go over there, or you just sending the necessaries across? And just so you understand, it's like 100 yards offshore. It's not that far.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to have to go there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
just
just
the
send
necessary.
DeVito and Hayden, I guess, to fetch the logs. Is Davino
Yep.
going to load the gun? Perhaps.
No, he would not load the rifle.
Would he be bringing the silver?
He'd probably bring.
Should probably do that though, just in case we get attacked by shark people
That's kind of what I was
Shark
thinking. He
people.
might bring. He might bring
or snake people.
a couple balls in his pocket, like say 3 or 4.
Not to mention that we have had a death threat against us, and
Yeah. now
Remember
his-
the crazy lady and the crazy.
and there were
dude?
those crazy folks on the beach that
I
you
wonder
That
if
was
that
big
dude's
ugly
like
guy.
a shark person. I wonder if he was like a shark person.
like a merman.
Sort of, but a shark person.
Can they do that? Can mer people change into sharks or be
Maybe.
sharks?
Well, if they were, you'd never know, would you? Okay, so Hayden and Davino are going to the boat to fetch the gun and logs, while the rest of you are hanging out, I suppose, at the other end. Rogers, while you are there, Mr. Bold will approach and we'll have a picture momentarily. There you go. Mr. Bold will approach and say, sir, we have a problem. It looks like
Uh-oh.
Mr. Furlong is missing.
When did he go missing?
He's supposed to be on shift right now, and he hasn't shown up.
And where was he last seen?
He was probably last seen the last time he did a shift yesterday, late-ish.
And where was he last? Where would he have headed into town? Where do you think?
They would have expected to see him here at the inn. Everybody's been staying pretty close to the ship for the most part. Suppose
That's
he could have
good
gone in to
news.
do some laundry, but yeah, nobody's seen him.
Man, I hope he wasn't eating a shark.
Very well. I'll let the captain know, and I think we better. Which one of his mates knows him best?
That's an interesting question. Which one would know him best?
That's why he asked the question. Come on, GM.
Probably go with either Mogert or McNeil.
It's not red?
No, Red kind of avoids him. He has a tendency to tease him too much.
Very well. Get McNeil. I'm going to go with McNeil. We'll find him.
All right. So you guys will go back in there and fetch Mr. Mockridge. He will accompany you
He
to
said
go
McNeil,
look around
not
for him.
Mockridge.
Said McNeil?
Yeah, McNeil.
I don't know why I heard the other one, but never mind that. Okay, so
Man,
you and you are going to do that. I don't have a thing for that.
you don't have a
All right.
thing for find missing crewman?
Yeah, I don't have that on there. I probably should, though. Okay.
I hope it doesn't come up that often.
Do you have a general plan? You're just going to hit the streets and start asking for that guy?
I'm going to look at McNeil and say, so where the hell would he go? What would he be up to?
Well, let's see. Well, he had been talking to this guy last night in the tavern, but he doesn't know the guy or doesn't know where they went, so they could be together.
Which room was he in?
Yeah, he'll point you to the relevant place.
All right. I'm going to start there. I want to see if I can find anything in the room that might give us any indication.
Okay, but you don't have anything specific in mind as far as your search technique goes.
I think look for clues in the room, and if there's no clues there, then I'm going to start. Yeah. I suppose I'm going to start asking the bartender down in the inn if he's recognized where he went or anybody left with him. Did anyone walk out of here with him last night? That sort of thing.
Okay,
Big
so
shark
you start social engineering, which is going to be difficult because neither of you speak Spanish.
Well, we could always find the good doctor.
Hold that thought. We'll get around to that. It just means it'll take you longer. Okay. As the guys are returning from the boat, nothing untoward happened in that process.
Wow, they didn't get attacked by a shark guy.
They did not, surprisingly enough. And Spencer turns around to note that Dora's suitor has reappeared and is spouting Spanish poetry at her, and it's not particularly great.
I think he's just gonna start translating it again just to see how she reacts to it.
Yeah, it's not working in Dutch. It wasn't really working in Spanish either, but it's not working in Dutch at all.
Hold on. I had an amusing thought. The guy has like a particularly tortured line of verse, and Spencer's gonna consider it,
Right.
and then go, no, you should use this and this and this, and you'll completely fix it with my
Right.
successful poetry by one.
You realize you've just tagged yourself as the guy who can help him.
Well, not probably. Well, maybe.
All right.
But I'm mostly approaching it from no. That doesn't work as structurally.
Oh, let me get a IQ roll from Rogers in the box.
Oops. I'll do it in the box. Hang on.
I didn't see that. It wasn't in the box. All right. And roll a d6 for me in the box as well. So noted. All right. Let's see. Next thing going on is, okay, so the guys returned from the boat. Hayden has the logs, and Palange has the musket, which is not a rifle.
And Sir Randall said he was going to take the compass as well, right?
You were keeping that on your person all the time, weren't you?
Did Mark bugger off?
Mark might have buggered off.
The
I'm sorry.
nerve.
I'm back.
Do you
The
keep the compass
nerve.
on your person?
Do I have? I'm sorry. What?
Do
Yeah,
you
what
keep the compass on your person?
Yes.
I thought that was the case. All right, so you guys go off. Now, for real this
It's on
time.
a chain.
Greetings. Welcome. And you'll see the very large guy with one ear and a very large musket and say, "Excellent, you brought it."
And I'm like looking around, going, "Oh, wow!"
And he looks at Sir Randall with a wink and says, "I knew you'd run across him somewhere."
Of course. I also have another piece that you may be interested in looking at, or at least, something that I'd like you to look at and
Oh,
get
do
your take
tell.
on. And I will pull out the compass and show it to him. Now, but actually, I start to hand it to him, and I pull back. It's like, I would ask, though, whatever you do see and read, that you only keep it between those in this room and yourself. If any others in this, come asking about it, that some confidentiality be kept.
Ah, secrets. I love secrets. I have lots of them. Would you like to know them?
Oh man, that's kind of like, wait, yes, no, wait, what?
I could stand to hear a little more about.
I know, right? As I put the compass away, keeping my secrets. I like other people's secrets. Yeah.
You do realize he's smiling.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so he will look at it and said, "That is an interesting piece. Definitely European brass. There's some fine markings on it. It is well crafted. I could give you a couple of pesos for it if you want it."
Oh no, it's not for sale. I was just wanting to
well,
get your
that's
take on it.
Other than
He
that,
just
he
gave
doesn't
you
really.
his take.
Well,
He
I
doesn't
know.
really know anything about it.
Okay, that's fine. It was a long
He
shot.
will ask you where you came by it.
I will mention that. I'll tell him where I came by. Ilavash. I think I remember that, right?
Yeah. How? I was going to ask how did this end up on Ilavash, but I could just
Oh,
as easily ask, how did you end up on Nilavash?
No, it's a treasure hunt, sir.
Oh, indeed. I very much like treasures.
Don't
And
we
I'm
all?
absolutely
And as I look
wandering
around
around.
his room, as I look around his house, it's like,
Uh-huh.
don't we all?
Yeah, Palange is getting distracted by some curious firearms.
I didn't even know they made this in that caliber.
Speaking of treasures, good sir, let me see that piece if you will.
Ah, yes, very well. Here you are.
I just realized I don't have an image of the gun, do I? That is a huge fail. Well, most of you know what it looks like. So he
It's
will
a big
he will look
bang
at it
stick.
and say and just say, Misericordia, is it you? And then he looks it over and says, there's the maker's mark, as expected. Is the script intact? May I remove the butt plate?
Very well.
And so he'll take the butt plate and look at the script. Ah, there it is.
Has
Very nice.
has Davino done that before?
He's
Seen
looked
the-
at the butt, but I don't think he's not removed it.
Okay, so Davino and Rogers. Rogers is the only other one that's actually seen any of this before. He's also the only other one that knows the name Misericordia, at least in this context.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not true. Gabriel knows that name.
So, as will no doubt not surprise Sir Randall, he wants to know the story of how you came by it.
And the player's like, crap, how did I come by this thing?
Exactly. I do not.
Well, it has been a while.
recall.
So the
I think you
the
punked
bullet
it, dude,
point
and took it.
bullet point
think
list
so.
is your captain's lieutenant on the Providence, I believe it was, actually had that piece, and in the process of the Providence going down, or there's some battle. Anyway, the guy lost it, and you took it, and you had tracked down the previous owner as living in Barbados. You found him. His name was Derek Campbell. You had journals from him. There may have been some kind of Spider Woman involved in there. I don't know if you want to bring that up.
He doesn't remember the Spider Woman. Nobody remembers the Spider Woman.
There's also the thing with the priest that I don't think you've talked to anyone but Rogers about.
Definitely avoid the spiders and avoid the priest. Yes.
Okay, but the other basics.
Yeah,
Well,
brief,
he'll actually mention the priest because the priest was essentially just very adamant he had to be shot by this rifle with the special ammunition. So he will mention that. Just sort of very it was odd, it was weird. He was very adamant that it had to be this rifle, this shot, so on.
He will ask that. Do you have the ammunition with you?
He will pull one of the rounds out of his pocket.
Of course, he will examine that very closely. The ammunition, not your pocket.
I don't know. He might be wondering if there's something going on with the pocket.
It is a very nice pocket.
It's
And
probably not.
after having examined everything to his great satisfaction, he's very excited. And I don't suppose you would be willing to sell this.
Unfortunately not, I'm afraid.
I thought not. Well, I suppose I should warn you, but maybe you already know, that there are some less scrupulous people who may be seeking this weapons.
And with that, he stabs you in the face.
For the best of
yeah.
reasons, I'm sure. So, you say you have a journal from this fellow. Campbell, you say?
Indeed, not on me, but do possess it, yes.
Wonder if you'd be willing to part with that for a while. I'd like to examine it.
It was Spencer who examined it previously, yes? The journal as well?
Yes.
Okay,
He
he's in the
is
process
still in
of
the process
copying
of
it.
copying that?
Yep.
If you'll allow me to confer with my colleague, he'll go and pull Spencer aside, ask him how long you think he has left to copy it.
I don't remember. I'd have to look.
I think he still had a while.
Okay, if it's gonna be
Yeah, I'm pretty certain I got a bit.
okay. What are your thoughts on his request to examine the journal? I'm still not the most trustworthy of him, but if there's something he
Honestly,
can
Spencer
share.
probably wasn't paying attention to your conversation with him. Let me see. I have. Damn, did I not? I thought I had put that on there. Right. So, looks like. Yeah, it looks like I have it listed where it's like I was be able to do about 3 pages a day on that,
That sounds rightish.
based off of the notes that I have. But I do not know when I started
You
copying that.
you have about 15 hours, looks like, in copying the book, and I think it was going to take. Did we come to 30 or 50, something like that?
So what the notes that I have is base is 4,000 words a day, so 500 words an hour, and there's about 200 words per page currently, so it's around 3 pages a day for copying. But I don't know how many.
Right.
I don't know how many
And I think it
pages
was
there
going to be
were.
around 100 pages. So yeah, you've still got a while. He's pretty early in that process, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 15 hours in, not 15 days.
Right. But yeah, so it's like, it's not my book. I can't make the call.
Very well.
I mean, obviously, you may be like, yeah, I'll let you look at it while I'm standing here, but not for without. You probably wouldn't. I'm guessing. I don't know. It's like if it's mine, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not gonna let you check it out without me present. But
Yeah,
plus, you may want to. Plus, you may want to say, well, how much is it worth to you?
Okay, yeah, he'll appreciate. He'll thank Spencer for his thoughts, and we'll turn back to the collector and mention that I think it would be possible. However, I would ask to be present, and also, as it seems you know much about this rifle, I would like to ask all you know as recompense for examining the journal.
Well, that's a fair trade. Then let us make some arrangements.
Oh, very well.
You will make some arrangements. We'll
Indeed.
figure that out later. And unless you guys have anything else in mind at this point, we will move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking around here to see if there's anything that immediately springs to mind for to Spencer. Like if he has, I don't know, the children's history of the Raven King or something like that.
Does he have any Mayan artifacts or anything? Or
Dude,
He definitely has some Mayan artifacts. The usual, I suppose. He doesn't have a lot of books, although there are a couple of books that are probably very, very old. But nothing that jumps out at you as relevant to your needs.
Gotcha.
There's some book looks like it's bound in human skin or something like that. It's a Necronomicon or something like that on it.
Caught you, Rata.
Says, yeah, don't bother with that one. That's a stupid book.
All right, I said the words.
So after this, what's the plan?
after this, assuming that we've seen anything that's neat.
Should maybe ask him about Reed.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. What's he know about Reed?
Gordon, yes, we have done quite a bit of business, actually. I occasionally come across some little trinkets here and there. I'll sell them to him. Sometimes he finds some and sells them to me. We do a lot of trade. He's financed a handful of shipping operations for me. I've used his factory. He's good people, as far as I've ever known.
Well, that's something.
See,
Shrewd businessman. Owns a lot of
What,
properties.
what about the shark attacks? Is he familiar with the shark attacks?
He's been hearing some buzz around that there have been missing persons from time to time, but he hasn't heard anything specifics, not shark attacks necessarily. That would be unexpected. And he'll go over and look at some notes, and now I can't think of anything here.
I think actually, since Spencer's the only one that's officially aware that well, the supernatural is a thing, and this dude was super interested in Solomon, he's going to start asking about Solomon and the lightning thing and all that stuff, because Solomon wouldn't tell us what that was about.
Right. Well, just as a reminder, everybody saw the ghost ship. So
Right. Yeah.
So if anybody had any illusions about whether or not the supernatural existed, they were shattered at that point.
Unless they have successfully rationalized it and said, nope, that didn't happen. I imagined the whole thing.
Now, when it comes to bringing up the Solomon thing, he says, "Has a Sir Randall here not told you that story?"
Wait, what was Randall telling us that he shouldn't? No, I mean I was there. I saw the thing, but I was wanting to know why it did that.
Oh, gotcha. You'll say, "Well, I don't really know."
Okay,
all
hold on,
sounds like
hold on.
fanciful stuff to
Hold
me.
on. Right, I have to make sure, see if I believe him.
Well, I suppose he should resist your attempts.
At body language and and detect lies.
Okay. Right. So he says, "Well, it's not my business to get into such things. I just record." But and as he clearly shuffles off the answer to the question, you feel like maybe he actually does know.
Let me test something. I want to look at what languages I speak.
The answer he gave was a good answer and would have worked on just about anybody.
Okay, so I have at least read through the journal once before I started actually deciding to copy it. Since I don't have it. Yeah. Was there any reference to those kinds of things, so I could maybe recognize what the hunters would? Oh, I guess that'd be like hidden lore hunter, wouldn't it?
Well, it would. I want to say no.
So I'm trying to figure out how I could call him on that, but
well, no, not in this case. No.
All right, I may have to come back here and chat with this guy again later.
Well, he's not
Maybe
going
wait till the everybody's potentially out of hearing range, and then go, oh, one other thing, does the order of reason mean anything to you?
No, I don't suppose it does. Sounds like
reasonable people.
Indeed.
Pity. Okay, dang it. Yep, gonna have to come back and talk to him. Gonna have to come back and talk to him again later. Keep harassing them.
I say he's not going anywhere, but you guys know that every person you've talked to is now dead once you've turned your back on them.
Well, not every person, just nearly every person.
Okay, so
it's a thing that happens.
Currently everybody is here. So what are you going to do at this point? I don't think you guys didn't really brainstorm that riddle thing out of character.
Damn it, that's actually what I wanted to look up on the Celtic thing. Is I know riddling is a big thing, but was there like a
Oh, right.
is there like a skill for those? 'Cause
I don't know.
personally suck at riddles.
I mean, you could just break that down as IQ, probably penalized by how complicated or obscure it is. But on the other hand, you guys could just take a look at it and see what you can come up with.
I guess you
Well,
could also apply that to like a professional skill or a hobby skill, because there are people that are really good at riddles.
Well, yeah, that's true.
yeah, I remember in high school, one of the players in my group was like that. And it's like, the GM would waste entirely too much time coming up with a riddle or finding one and
Mm-hmm.
crap like that. And he'd be like, yeah, this is great. And he'd throw it out there. And, me and the other two guys would go, what? Wait, say that again. And, then Dwayne, the other dude, would be like, pause and think and throw out the damned answer. And we're like, dude, really?
All right. Well, let's look at what we have.
Right. So I would probably want to compare,
just
also
to,
look at the terrain as a possibility as well.
Just to reestablish,
Yep.
it was higher ground, safe and sound, setting sun, second gun. I think that's how it went.
Yep.
Since somebody brought up geography, higher ground.
Higher ground.
There is higher ground up there.
Higher ground.
In fact, there's kind of a ring of hills around the town.
Are there any particular features that align with the setting sun to
Did
the
I
west?
say setting sun or rising sun?
Setting
Rising.
sun.
He said setting, I thought.
Oh, it's rising.
I'm looking at the what? No, it's setting sun according to the
setting?
quest.
Oh,
According
yeah,
to the
I
quest.
Settings. I had it written. as
Well, when
rising.
he put that in the chat, I'm like, did I say the wrong thing?
That'd have been hysterical. Go, all right, I'm just completely, you're completely hosed because I gave you the wrong riddle.
No, I thought it was.
That's why
means
no
we
one's
can
ever
do it
found the
tonight.
treasure.
Yeah.
Exactly, because it keeps changing.
Someone wrote down the riddle, made a mistake in doing the riddle.
What a twist!
It's a magic riddle. It changes every time someone looks at it. All right, so
What is that fort?
okay, which fort?
There are two. Well, three? Is that a third one up there?
No, I think that's a comment or something like that. So, for the record, I know I've mentioned this before that these two forts, as pictured here, don't actually exist. They have not been built yet. However, there is a fort on this hill. It is just not that fort.
Okay.
So that one being the San Miguel. San Miguel hasn't been built yet. There is another fort there.
That's the one that the purple is pointing to.
Yes.
Well, at some point we need to sneak over there and make sure no one sees us go.
Well,
Or go over there and look and take a reading that looks like we're taking a look like we're looking in one direction when in fact we've yeah.
all right. Well, you can do some funny business if you want to try to get out that direction.
Well, we got to be there in the evening.
All right.
So part of my thought is we could either do some crazy. If only we knew some spycraft that could like do some counter tracking maneuvers. Oh my gosh, I read so many spy novels and I can't even think of the term. Counter tracking routes or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I know what you mean.
Then show up there and then play like, oh look, this is the gun that we're supposed to look at, and then look off in the distance, like write some notes and stuff like that. Like that's definitely the way. And then
secretly have somebody else take another reading from the proper position.
All right. Well,
Misdirection.
Lots of misdirection.
if you are intending to go out to this fort at or near sundown, then you've got a while.
Right. We have stuff. that
It's
we can be
probably
doing.
worth noting any sort of equipment that you will be taking with you when you do this. And we should determine what you are going to do in the meantime. Let's see, I think you guys have taken care of the stuff that I knew about, with the exception of Rogers, who is still in the process of trying to find out what the hell happened to Furlong.
Furlong
That is correct.
disappeared.
Which I suppose you guys could just come back and help him search for Furlong. Or you could go looking for something else. You could look for
Well,
trouble.
Looking,
If
I make
Rogers is keen on doing that, then Hayden has nothing particularly to do, so he'll help.
Okay, so
Well,
you'll
I-
catch up with him.
I do think he's a crew member. We should really try and find our crew member.
Exactly. It's a good call. And with sharks being about, we don't need to lose Furlong to a shark person.
All right. So Hayden meets up with Rogers. Sir Randall.
Well, knowing that we're going to try and sneak out that way, but we have quite a bit of time in between. I would think we all, Well, he had some intent of getting Inara a wardrobe, so I guess we can go complete that.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So you just go back in town and go back to that dressmaker, see what the status is.
Status, and maybe catch sight of our wayward cabin boy.
Indeed. All right, Palange.
He will essentially, yeah. There's nothing personal that he's really looking to get done. I'm mentioning the arrangements for the transfer are going to be at a later time. So if anyone in particular is in need of assistance or can benefit from his presence, then by all means.
Are you keeping the gun, or are you going to go take it back to the boat?
If we're going to leave the walls to go try to solve the riddle, if that's the main thing, then he'd keep the rifle, the musket.
Okay. I know I asked you before, but is it loaded?
It was not when we were just looking at delivering it over for the inspection. No.
Now that you say that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, if we're going to go leave and be outside the walls, then he probably would sort of load it as we're making our way out.
Oh, okay. Well, right. Yeah, because you guys were inside the walls to talk to him, so you had to come back out. Yes. Therefore, what are you loading it with? You got silver in
How
your
would
pocket.
Davino feel about putting one of those musket balls into the Mr. Ed Long?
What, are you just going to go looking for him and assassinate him?
No, but should Ed Long show himself or make his presence known to us?
Mr. Ferron didn't say anything about what the gun might do or not do, so I don't think Palange has had any conversations with anyone about that, excepting Rogers.
No, I'm
Unless
just
he
thinking because
has.
it's an absolutely huge gun.
Well, there is that.
I think he'll load it with a silver round. This is feeling like one of the times we might run into something weird. We're dealing with a riddle, so
Okay.
he'll probably get that itch and load it with a silver shot.
Fair enough. Okay. So basically, we're just going to be biding our time looking for Furlong while Payne goes off with Inara to look at the dress situation and come back and deal with the fort. So, first thing that's going to happen is as you guys get together with Rogers, you figure out where he's been canvassing, and you will at some point find where Furlong is. And he is not dead. He has not been eaten by sharks. He is, in fact, been at the home of some Indian guy, and this Indian guy has introduced him to a particular tea made of certain mushrooms.
Uh-huh.
And this is about as mellow as you have ever seen him.
Because he's stoned out of his damn mind.
Because he's stoned out of his damn mind.
However, I'm interested. What kind of mushrooms?
Yeah, what kind of mushrooms? Game gets derailed by mushrooms.
The whole crew is stoned.
Yeah, so apparently ayahuasca is not native to this particular area, but there are similar shrooms available. So it is something local to the Maya here, and
Does it have medicinal properties?
well, they would say so. Yes, I mean it has medicinal, spiritual properties that might be of interest to Mr. Spencer in some regard or another. But the story here being that Furlong, having had a rough go of it on that last voyage, was looking for ways to unwind, and this he ran into this Indian guy at the tavern there, and he decided to take him in and show him the wonders of mushrooms.
Great. Now we have a addict on board.
At any rate,
You already have an addict on board.
well, that's true.
We do?
Yeah, Hayden.
Oh yeah. Great. Our captain's an addict too. I can't approve of this.
So at any rate, as you guys are exiting there, Furlong is in the middle of a session, let's call it, at the moment.
Session.
And,
Is that what we're calling it?
I guess. So
A session.
he's
in
not
quotation.
available for guard duty, and Ollie says, "You know, he looks so peaceful right now. I'll just take his shift for him. How about that? Well, we'll let him have a couple of days, and then we'll get him back to work.
Well, why not?
He has been a bit grouchy. So, good news. Furlong's not dead. He should be returned in a day or
excellent.
two. And in the meantime, you will go back to coordinate with Sir Randall. Anything you need to take care of before you head out to the fort?
Well, definitely want to ensure everyone knows that our whole the trip to the fort
We're all on the same station.
is to be clandestine in nature, and anything that we can do to mask our comings and goings or to ensure we are not being followed is all those activities are to be taken. And if anyone has any suggestions on how we can do that most effectively, we're definitely open to hear.
I would say that Roger's spycraft would probably work here for that purpose. And I
Well,
will allow him to roll that in the open.
Okay.
CSR, counter surveillance route.
That sounds good.
E&E. Wow, he seems to know a thing about losing a tail.
Indeed. All right. Rogers makes a plan, and at the appropriate time, you execute. Are you bringing Inara with you?
I will offer if she'd like to go. I'm not going to stop her, because she's my squeeze.
Well, she will absolutely go on this adventure with you if you're going on an adventure.
Of course.
What about Dora?
She's an explorer.
I know, right? I was
Yeah.
just thinking that. She's totally explored. She wants to go on an adventure.
Spencer gonna recommend
would
she
he-
stay here or just
Why would he do that?
I don't know. I figured I'd bring it up. All right, didn't think so. All right, so you guys take a circuitous route through the barrio to lose any potential tails and head
Does
out.
Spencer know poetry?
Yes.
Spencer does know poetry.
Can Spencer come up with a riddle that sounds similar to the higher ground, safe and sound, rising sun, second gun? Derive a
certainly. I'm certain he could.
Yeah, you can. You just say setting sun.
Oh, yeah. Second setting sun.
No,
Well,
you say rising sun because the proper is
oh, yeah. That's true. Rising sun. Yep. But I'm trying to,
All right.
lower ground.
You arrive at the fort. Oh, hold on. I had things.
highest ground. Forces them to find the highest point. But it did say second. Yeah.
It is a small fort. It is not in particularly good repair. And you arrive at the front gate to find a number of militiamen, or I guess they would be militiamen, struggling to get the front gate to close properly.
Ooh.
So the crews are working on it. Engineers, quote unquote engineers.
They look like they're abandoning it for the evening.
And
Abandoning it.
no, they're trying to fix it because it needs to close the doors properly. And as you lot approach, they will say, "Prohibido visitar."
I want to think of something so super witty to say to that. It's like, we don't worry, we've already got one.
No, what you probably need to do is loop your have Sir Randall sort of loop his arm with Anara, and then you guys use the angle to but she wants to see the sun set. Please have a heart.
I had actually considered something like that, but I was more thinking getting a painting done for some reason, or at least finding a place to get a painting done that would capture her essence perfectly.
Well, conveniently enough, I have artist drawing, so.
And then you can get the sketches, and I'm willing to a few coins, really. Yeah.
I'm getting the sense that there may be some bullshit laid out here.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, you've got the entire team with you, so you can arrange that how you like. Is everybody going in?
I might need some folks to kind of keep an eye out if others show up. I don't know. It's up to you guys. What do you think? Do we want to all go in, or have a couple just ensure that no one sneaks in behind us? Or, I mean, there's soldiers at this fort too, so I wasn't expecting that. I don't know why I didn't think of soldiers actually.
Well, we could, so that we're not splitting the party for next week. Maybe we have Claude stand watch, assuming that we're still here for next week.
I don't think so.
Well, first we have to get inside there.
So, question number 1: who's going in?
I'm gonna go in.
I'm
going to go in.
And
Gino will
ours.
go in.
Then we'll all go.
All
We're all
right.
going in.
It'll be fine.
Second question: is anyone helping Randall get in?
Absolutely.
I'm sure Inara's going to help.
Inara will definitely help.
I will help.
How will Spencer be helping?
Well, if his angle is that he's here for the
Scouting spots for
the art and such like that, it's I have the artist
You have your
drawing
art
and
supplies.
fast drawing and fast talk if necessary.
All right, fair enough. I will have Spencer do his fast talk for an assist. Inara will be doing her usual as an assist. And Sir Randall will likely get a +2 on that at the very least. So while Sir Randall is talking to the guards and Spencer is showing them the art supplies, Inara's like, "Oh, look, a flower." And she bends down to pick the flower at the
proper angle.
proper angle. You're seeing she does that a lot.
And we all appreciate it.
And basically all the militiamen just stand there stunned for a second, like, "¿Cuál es mi nombre?" and they wave you in. Okay, and they say, "Well, be quick."
We don't, yeah.
I'm reminded of the Dominoes song by Kiss.
Mm-hmm. That may have been in my head all day. All right, so you are inside the fort. Where shall you go?
Over there. Have to figure out what the second gun is. Are they actually numbered? I would think they actually are, but how would we know which is which?
I don't know that they would necessarily be numbered, at least not in a way that you could see.
Well, or the gun that the second gun facing the second or the setting sun
Well-
would be west, right? Sets in the west, right?
Right.
So it'd be
so it
the
would probably-
second
yeah.
gun in the east.
Well, I'm thinking it's going to be one facing inland, right?
Well, right, but maybe it's something that's written on the gun or something. I mean, we can take visual cues from both and see what we get. I'm wondering if there's something written on it or written near it. But safe and sound, I'm not sure what safe and sound is, unless it's the well, safe and sound would be a fort. There's safe and sound in a fort, right? Higher ground.
Yeah.
Safe and sound, you're in a fort. Rising sun. Oh, setting sun. I wrote it right, but I got it wrong. I need to scroll away from that so I can stop reading it from the text. So setting sun would be to the west. So see what's there. And
All right,
maybe
well, you got a good
check-
start. All right, so let's say you're going to go check all the second guns that you can think of on the ramparts. So you'll do that. You'll start poking around. Are you going to continue the ruse of the painting or just let that slide?
Say that again.
I'm
I'm
gonna-
sorry.
I'm going to yes, continue the ruse.
Yes.
All right, so you start making your way around the rampart, looking at second guns as you go. You will note that on the it's actually on the east side. Yes, on the east side. I think that's actually going to be where the gate is, above the gate. The second gun over there, their second gun from the right particular side. There is, it looks like a small cup holder indentation. Looks like it was carved out of the stone. Just right around where the gun is sticking out over it. You would
Anyone
say
want-
that little cup holder indentation is about the same size as the compass.
All right. Making sure that it is in fact the right size and that there's no catch or anything that would force me to lose the compass.
Doesn't look like it.
I will go ahead and
Giant laser.
yep. Place the compass.
Goodbye, Campeche.
I know. Aw.
It fits in very specifically.
Yeah, I kind of figure there's probably like some nubs or something that force it to go in one way.
Now, I'm going to make an assumption here, which you did not actually come out and say, that you brought an actual compass.
Yeah,
I kept meaning to check and see who had one.
I think Rogers has a compass.
I thought somebody did.
Just checking. Yep, instrument, compass.
Okay.
Sweet. So we have a couple compasses, and that gives us even better because we can compare them.
Did you have one?
I thought I did, but apparently not.
Yeah, I don't see it. Okay. You will note then, as you place Morgan's compass in the indentation, it does not point north.
Ha ha ha. Curious and curiouser, gentlemen. Where, pray tell,
At
do you
this
think
point,
it points?
you shall be waiting for the sun to go down? Question mark.
Yep.
I need.
I'm sure that there's
Then-
probably a shadow that'll fall on it or something.
As the sun goes down, you
Wafers.
have made note of the cut on the compass pointing in a particular direction out toward the east-ish, southeast. The actual southeast, not what the Morgan's compass actually indicates is southeast. And as the sun lowers, looking out in that direction, you will see the glint of light, a reflection.
There.
It is very far in the distance. There are hills around here, so you can't tell exactly where that would end up going. Or, well, I mean, you could tell how far it is. You will take a bearing on that reflection, and that bearing will be 134 degrees.
Right. Does Rogers or Hayden have a spyglass?
Rogers does.
Yes, Rogers has a spyglass.
That might be, worth the
So
look
does
around.
Hayden.
Be one of
Yeah.
those
Well-
ones like you make sure the dudes
Actually, no.
aren't
Hayden
watching.
has a
it in-
telescope, so I don't know if that's the same thing.
I think a telescope might be.
I think it's
better.
mounted. Yeah, but I
Might
think
be.
it's secured or it's too large to carry around.
I think the telescope in this case is actually out of low tech, and like the spyglass is out of Dungeon Fantasy or something like that. I think they're actually the same thing.
Okay, never mind.
Well, the telescope weighs 6 pounds.
Or maybe not.
And the spyglass weighs 4.
Yeah.
Well, that's heavier than I would have expected still.
A lot heavier.
Okay, well, in either case, looking out in the direction
Well,
of
it's
that
metal and glass.
reflection, and that reflection only lasts for a little bit, a couple of minutes maybe. And you see nothing but jungle out there
It's a jungle out
and
there.
a little gleam of light.
Well,
You would say that it is not on the hill so much as atop the hill. And yeah, that's pretty much all you can tell at this point.
well, I'll deftly retrieve the compass.
And the
And-
sun goes down.
And is there a way to etch a slight mark in the to where the compass can face 2 directions or fit 2 different ways?
Not without stone tools.
Nuts. No one's got a chisel.
However, you will recall that Boissinade has a paper copy of the compass and not the physical compass.
Ah,
Therefore, he has no idea that it doesn't actually point north.
mm,
Also,
Okay.
he doesn't have the riddle.
right.
Point of order. How long ago are we presuming that this thing was added to the fort? The little ledge for the compass.
Hang on. Because Sir Randall can answer that for you, definitely.
Because if he's like fiddling with it, like to try to see if there's anything on there, Spencer may be about to say something in Gaelic.
Okay. Henry Morgan died in Port Royal in 1688. That was
So-
36 years ago.
Okay. So I think it'd be Gaelic while Sir Randall is fiddling around with this thing. Dr. Spencer's gonna say it would certainly be a pity if that broke off.
Tick. And you hear the soldiers below shout as the masonry falls just behind somebody and almost hits him.
Is it that big?
Well, that's a big chunk that fell off.
Oops.
As in
I've-
fell off or was pushed off?
No, it
was
just kind of
coinc-
fell off on its own.
Well, Sir Randall was fiddling around with it, so it's like coincidentally he hit a
Poke,
weak
poke, poke.
point.
Crack!
So I have to do terribly sorry.
Lo
Yep.
siento mucho.
Is everyone all right?
So, with that, I would like for everyone to make a perception check.
I'm gonna fail. What?
In, out.
See if
Maybe
you can
not.
spot the sniper.
Is it just perception?
I'm going to luck that.
I am absolutely going to take mine. That's awesome.
Jesus Christ, man.
16 by 9.
Okay. Well, did anybody do better?
Of course not.
Nope.
I'm too
Did Payne
awesome.
decide not to do his luck?
I just had to write it in.
Oh.
I'll succeed by
Well,
3.
that's better. All right. Well, Spencer is definitely going to be the first one, and that kind of makes sense because he's not paying attention anyway. Spencer will be looking out over the horizon, getting his sketching lines and probably accidentally actually doing art. And he will note that down on a secluded part of the beach, as the sun is setting and the shadows are getting long, there are 3 figures standing on very near the surf, or actually standing in the surf. One of them looks a bit like Mr. Long. Another one is really tall, and you can't see very far. It's kind of far away, so it's kind of hard to tell who that might be. But it looks like a tall, scraggly-haired guy.
Who's really mean and ugly.
And there's another one that looks bumpy, like maybe a female.
Bumpy. Okay.
We've seen these before.
You may have seen these before.
What are they doing?
They're just standing on the beach. Maybe they're waiting for something.
I use my spyglass. I really want to confirm if they are who I think they are.
Somebody has a spyglass. Excellent. Magnification on that is about 4x, I believe. You can at least get a good enough sight on them to recognize it is in fact Big Ugly Guy, Strange Woman, and Handsome Ned. They are looking out.
Where are they looking at?
They are looking out over the surf.
But I wouldn't give for a brown Bess. And
Yeah,
3 good
you
shots.
could get Brown Bess at that range. I'm trying to remember if they had those breech loading rifles yet. I don't think so. All right. Well, that's a thing. You gonna stay here and watch, or do something else?
Well, I explained to everybody who I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, that's definitely them.
Wonder what they're up to. I'm curious enough to stay and watch, or at least
All right.
leave the fort and watch, since the dudes are probably like, all right, you got to go.
Oh, okay. So you guys exit the fort and then watch.
I don't know if we can stay in the fort. I'd rather stay in the fort.
Well, nobody's come and fetched you out.
Okay, then I'd say we stay in the fort just in case they decide to attack us.
Right? At least we have some
Fair enough.
walls. We're kind of safe and sound here.
Indeed. Sometime later, probably 10, 15 minutes, you're starting to wonder if they're going to do anything. They're very patient, just standing there like that. And later, it is the sun is definitely down at this point. It's really difficult to see, but you do see a someone come swimming out of the water.
Uh-oh.
It is
The
a
merman.
really
Merman.
large, naked guy.
Merpeople!
Looks like you see him toss him a shirt or something, and he puts that on.
Nora, look, merfolk.
And you can't see real well.
What in the world? I've seen that guy before. From what? What's he from? What's that character from?
Oh,
Or the actor,
the
or just a
character is
random.
from Monster Hunters. I couldn't get a good image of him, but
Oh, gotcha.
that's
Ron Perlman.
Oh, is that Ron Perlman?
Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
How can
It's
you not
just-
tell?
it's a
Look at
really,
his
it's
jaw.
a really crappy.
It's a very
resolution.
distinctive chin.
Well, maybe it doesn't look right, but that could just be the effect.
Okay, so to reestablish the facts, you have Handsome Ned, you have Big Ugly Guy, you have a Strange Woman, and now you have a new Bigger Ugly Guy. And the Bigger Ugly Guy, who they just tossed a shirt to, puts on the shirt and looks like he's giving them commands. And then they all go off into the jungle.
Have they
Did he-
noticed
Well,
us?
You guys are like a mile away.
Okay. So, all right. So they weren't looking at us. They, we're just watching them.
Yeah, they had no idea you were there.
Or maybe they did.
Or did they?
We should have shot them with a cannon.
I think that would have upset the militiamen.
Did this gentleman swim from the ocean, from the direction of that light that we saw?
No, that was a complete other direction. Yeah, the reflection was inland, and they are way down the beach, looking out over the ocean. So he came in from the west. The reflection was in the east.
Well, I'm for all steering clear of those weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
For now, I'm certain we'll run into him again. Probably at this treasury
Inevitably.
place.
All right. So now what? It is definitely dark.
Great. Now we have to go back in the dark, and we're gonna get jumped by those dudes.
I wonder if we could just hang out here. Okay, it's awfully dark, and would you mind if we just camped here tonight? Sure, we could provide some kind of entertainment.
I can dance.
I can dance. Now we just need someone who can sing. Wait, Inara, I think, can sing. Can she sing? I can't remember.
I don't recall. I think so.
She can sing.
I have wrestling. We could put on a show.
Not that kind of a show.
All right. Well, yeah.
The night
plan.
is dark and full of terrors.
I guess we're heading back.
You got to walk back in the dark
Oh,
with those things running around.
yeah.
They mostly come in at night.
Mostly.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sure it'll be okay. Nothing bad will happen.
Yeah.
Well, I make sure my
I'm-
powder's dry and
Said every victim in a horror movie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Roger's being overconfident. Let's go back. I need a drink and some good company tonight.
yep. I think we should be able to make it back and avoid them for sure. I too am overconfident.
If you move quickly, but then again, you don't know how fast they are. So, going back to the hacienda.
It was the wall. It
Speed.
was inside the wall, right? Yeah.
Is anybody not going there? Davino wasn't staying there last night.
You might want to stay there tonight.
Yeah, tonight for sure.
Louis, do you have your crossbow? We'll all go back together.
Also, let's see here.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Get the
Somebody's
movie
guard
reference?
duty's coming up. Looks like it's going to be Davino.
Yeah, of course it is.
And that's the last we ever saw of him.
Mm-hmm. You going to get somebody to stand in for you? Are you scared?
No, but I'm certainly gonna have. No one's gonna stand in, but certainly I'm gonna have silver shot loaded.
You sound nervous.
Optimistically cautious.
All right. So, you guys trek back. Davino will divert and go stand his watch with whomever else is on. I think that's gonna be Red. Well, that could be bad.
Tell him. You should totally tell him about the shark people. I want to tell people about the shark people.
All right. Seeing as we're getting close to it and Roger's just gonna have to bail, we will clean this up real quick. So, Rogers, Sir Randall, Hayden, Spencer, Dora, and Inara are all going back to the hacienda, and they will encounter no funny business on the way there except
That's
having
disappointing.
to talk the guards into letting him in because it's after dark, and normally they keep the gates shut. And you guys
Wise
will
decision.
be asked, how did it go? What have you done today? Make any progress? Maurice and crew are all there. Maurice will smirk at Sir Randall and say, Leto was attempting to follow you wherever it was you were going out there, and he lost you somehow. That took some doing.
Oh, well, we were looking for some good lighting for some artwork that I've asked Dr. Spencer to look into.
Might it be related to some artwork that I have?
Mm. Don't know how I want to take that.
Still keeping the trade secrets then? All right, so you're going to play that close.
Yeah.
So the question is, are you going to let them know that you made progress, or are you going to tell them that you did not?
Oh, I'm not telling them that we made progress or not. It's like
None of them. Telling none
No.
of them anything.
Nope.
I'm gonna probably ask them or ask him if they the local constable reached out about his
Oh
man.
yes, his man. For
Oh
sure.
yes, yeah, definitely. He is. Some of the
We will
extra
definitely give
crew-
condolences for sure, and actually make him heartfelt.
the other named members of the crew have been in and out of here all day. He will tell you, and they've been making arrangements to get everybody moved inside the walls, and stay out of the damn water because there are sharks. And
Or shark men. One
yeah,
of the two.
the La Dame Blanche had a crew of 15, so they had spares.
Yay.
So
I
it's
like
not
thinking
like
of my crew as spares.
so it's not like they're not going to be able to sail or anything without the guy. But they will miss Pierre. He was all right. I mean, he wasn't super interesting, but he wasn't a pain in the ass either. He liked to take long walks in the surf in the mornings. Apparently, he got a little too far out in the surf.
Or a shark man got him.
Or Sharkman got him.
I think we might want to mention the group of 4 that we saw Ned Long again
Yeah, you
on
can
the
just see
beach.
oh yeah, we saw our friend Ned with some strangers,
And
sort of thing.
And you know, 2 we've seen, 2 some of my crew have seen before. Actually, we saw the strange woman too, didn't we? At the
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen her. I've only seen Ned and her, and then of course no. But I haven't seen
Yeah,
the
now
big
you've
ugly
seen all of
dude.
them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there does seem to be another group. Oddly enough, I don't know how believable the. Do I have to resist saying merman?
Well, given you have an actual delusion about it, you kind of
Yep.
you just sort of make assumptions that that's the reality, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'll probably go then I'm thinking Silky, not Mermaid.
Well, anyway, one of them came out of the water like a mer person. I don't know if they were watching him swim or if he was a mer person, but he didn't seem to have any clothes immediately available. Very odd that.
Maybe he was washing up.
But anywho, but beside the point, we know that there are 4 of them, and they are. I would tell your crew and yourself to I would definitely be cautious of them and pass that to your crew.
Meanwhile,
I will totally
an
sketch out
hour
what I know of
and a
their
half
faces.
later, Davino is aboard the ship.
Uh-oh.
They
doing
look
his
like
watch duty.
this.
Red is below decks, taking a dump.
You're about to get attacked by mer people or shark people. I think you're about to die here, Davino.
Well, hopefully that's what the rifle's for.
Davino's looking one direction and he hears a big flop.
I told you,
Shoot it!
mer people.
Well, more of a splash than a flop. He turns around to see what it was and finds that he can't move.
Dun dun dun.
As this guy is looking at him straight in the eyes.
Which guy?
Big
The
ugly
bug.
dude, or bigger ugly.
Big ugly guy.
Bug 1.
And he's looking you right in the eyes, and he's yanked that gun right out of your hands because
Oh,
you
no.
can't move.
I told you guys we shouldn't have split up.
And he says, "Hi there."
And then he eats you.
I just glare.
Oh, come on. You need to say something witty.
Well, I
Smells like fish in here. Or
Yes,
smell
you
like-
can speak.
Oh.
You're not locked in. What it feels
Okay.
like, it feels like you've got a ton of sand just dumped on top of you, and you're having. It's like everything weighs a ton to move.
This isn't very polite, sir.
You're not British. I guess we've rubbed off on you.
Yeah, let's call it that.
He has been hanging around with Brits a lot.
Let's call it that.
So sorry again. What was your response?
That was very rude, sir.
Rude.
Indeed, you took a man's property.
Is this yours? Do you want
is.
it?
I do.
Think you're man enough to take me on there, bright boy? I'm way more than
Well,
you
one
can
way to
handle.
find out.
Come on.
And
Is this a threat or an advance?
and as you're sort of trying to move, what are you trying to do?
His gun back.
I mean that's the ultimate is get the gun back. Currently, it's more focused on just trying to break that feeling, try to regain full control is more the big one. Secondary, probably going to be trying to go for a knife.
So you're trying to go for get the gun back, or you trying to go for a knife?
Well, I think I'm going to need to get the knife so I can try to get the gun back. Or is
Okay.
he just like loosely holding it? If he's just loosely holding it, then I'll just do all he can to get.
Okay. It's he's not like wielding it or anything. He's just got it. So okay.
What
So
rank did you
you're
show up?
sort of struggling to reach out in the general direction of the rifle.
Yeah.
Musket, excuse me.
The BFG.
And he says, well, you want it? Here, take it. And he sticks it in your hands. Call it a gift.
Want this.
And you can kind of feel the pressure loosening. And he says, come on, and thumps his chest a couple of times. Come on, bright boy. Don't you know anything? And what I would like to know at this point is you've got the gun in your hands. It's not 100% ready, but you could potentially do something with it. How would you present it? Would you be just squeezing as is pointed in the direction and go, and never mind the recoil, or are you going to brace it on the hip, tuck it under the armpit, actually shoulder it? What are you going to try to do with it?
He will shoulder it. It'll be loose. He'll bring it up, rest against his shoulder, kind of do the flip just to double check, make sure everything's well, and then, presuming the other guy is still essentially trying to egg him on, then he will just try to turn and fire.
Okay, well that's the plan anyway. So, so you feel the pressure loosening up. You start to try to bring it up to your shoulder because you intend to pull the trigger on it. And just after he finishes saying, "Don't you know anything?" You notice that his face starts to boil and stretch and grow, and his shoulders and his chest, and oh yeah, he's completely naked, by the way, too. And yeah, and it's making the ugly guy even more ugly until he starts to turn into something that looks kind of like that.
Oh,
Yay! You're definitely what this rifle was made for.
He's a land shark.
Land shark.
First off, I need you to make a fright check at -5.
Oh, jeez. Ready. Okay, well.
Turn on your shark card.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. You didn't faint.
You got real ugly.
So, he's getting a little ways into the transformation, but you're holding yourself together, and you shoulder that thing, and you just pull the trigger and don't even think about it. Sound about right?
I mean, point towards center mass, but otherwise, yeah. If he's mid transformation and still doing it, then yeah, I'm not gonna let him finish.
You are absolutely freaking terrified. And go ahead and give me a guns roll.
Just straight guns or an actual attack?
Actual attack. Yeah. Don't worry about the mods though. All right. Looks like you were pointed in the right direction when you pulled the trigger. There is a zip from the from the wheel as you pull the trigger, and it sparks, and then the boom and a gout of flame and smoke. And you see from the thing in front of you that it strikes right dead center. And it's like there's a flame inside it that flashes momentarily, and it collapses on the deck.
Hopefully it looks
Double tap.
surprised.
Double tap's going to take a while.
And at this
Uh,
moment, as it falls down, Red needs to come up and see it.
Divino will actually go for the double tap though. He's
So you're in
Yeah.
the process of reloading when
Yep.
Red does in fact come up going, "What the hell was that?" Because
I
he
don't
heard
know.
a gunshot, and he looks, and there's a really big, ugly, naked guy on the. Actually, no, there's not. It's a shark.
Hopefully
It's
missing a big chunk
It's a
of
big
its
freaking
chest.
tiger shark, like 8 feet long.
We're having shark fin soup tonight.
Cut to black. Cue the music. Roll credits.
Yay, you shot a shark man.
Oh, it's a
You
land
got your
shark.
first hunter kill.
I've seen the cartoon.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of King Shark from the Suicide Squad. Hey.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there. I don't know if I could take that seriously. All right. What do we got here? Post game XP. Everybody gets 1 character point. Let's see. Who needs bennies today? Nobody spent any bennies. Almost surprised.
Keep forgetting.
I am going to nominate Sir Randall for a Benny because he played along nicely.
Yeah, I have no issue with
Sure.
Anybody else?
that. Nope, can't think of anybody.
The only possible Ben is Divino for that really awesome will roll.
Yeah, but that's kind of its own reward, though.
This is true.
How many bennies does he have?
actually.
You've only got like 1 Benny.
Yeah, some of us don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, I think he missed. He wasn't here the other day when he gave everybody a Benny. Tell you what, I'll give Divino a Benny for showing up and being a good sport, nearly getting himself eaten.
Well, I think.
All right. So somebody just made a fright check, which
Successfully.
means but he made it. So actually, he's not going to take any stability points from that.
Excellent.
Let's see, and yeah, nothing else happened there, so that would be that.
I was beyond prepared
Well-
to look the snot out of that fright check.
Oh, I know, right? Okay, well, I guess that's it. Anybody got any questions? Any end business?
Not yet.
How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit?
Oh, you took my line.
I know exactly how Hayden gets out of it. He critically fails at health check on his terminally ill.
Yeah, just
How
for the
close are we
record,
getting to
today
that?
is today's the 25th of February. On the 1st of March, that's his next roll.
Critical fail. I want you to roll an 18.
Saving up those bennies.
You can't Benny
No.
that roll.
I want you to critically fail and die.
That's just
It'd be
rude.
funny. It'd be funny.
It would be funny, but
And then we'd have to
I
say,
will-
all right, Lieutenant, you're in charge now.
He has to find his replacement first.
I will bid you all a good
go be
night.
the monkey.
If you're watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Like and subscribe and all that. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Good night, stream.
Bye.